morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are so glad that you have chosen to join us here. We are here for Solar Day, a celebration of celestial proportions for this big event that's coming up here in a couple of hours. My name's Adrian Miser. I'm pleased to be your host. I'm a parent, longtime parent here at Burton Adventist Academy. I've put through I have eight students. The last one coming through right now has his last couple of years going, so I'm proud to be here as your host. And my co-host, let me bring in Mr. Reggie Herman. And Reggie, tell everybody about yourself, but specifically talk about how you're an alumnus of this institution.
I will, but just a moment though, and we mentioned this last night, because people that are tuning in for the first time, 8 people is quite a feat. So you need to explain, because you're too young to put 8 people through.
Only 3 were mine.
Only 3.
Only 3 were mine. 5 were foreign exchange students that we were happy to have.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so with that clarity, I'll get back to me. So yes, alumnus from 1995, actually started going to school here in 1983.
Wow.
Big changes since then, but it's great to be sitting next to you, someone that graduated from CTA but has embraced Burton. Love the jacket, which, by the way, clearance rack from Men's Warehouse. It looks fabulous on you.
Fantastic. The limited edition.
That's right.
Only us.
There you go. One in a million. All right. So let's keep going.
Well, this is truly going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's very awesome. We are so glad that everybody's out there here. The last time this happened in the DFW area, the last time was 18, you heard that right, not a mistype, 1878, the last time this happened here. Something called a Rutherford B. Hayes was president back then.
Absolutely. And here's what's the other thing, which one of the big things that we researched after last night, this weather that we're experiencing today is the exact same that they had here on July 29th, 1878 in Fort Worth, and magically the clouds parted for them to be able to witness this, and I think we're on that same path.
I am expecting the same thing today. In our first production meeting several months ago, I gave the Joe Namath guarantee that we were going to have good weather. Right now, we have good weather outside. I'm going to hope that holds true. I'm going off the field like he did.
There you go. Well, so in the next time this happens, we're looking at 20 years out, which for you and I, if we do a live stream again, we're going to be doing this from the retirement center.
That's right. That's where we'll end up being. But that one will only be up in the north part of the United States, correct. Montana and North Dakota. We'd have to travel to that. The next time it's going to happen here is, what, 150,
2345.
Yeah, long time.
Which we talked about, that's going to be Jean-Luc Picard era of Star Trek when that happens again for all you Trekkies out there. So it's a long ways away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you from the campus of Burton Adventist Academy. I cannot thank our host school enough. Thank you for having us here. What a great job they have done. This is a high-quality private education institution. Reggie went there here, and we are located in the south part of Arlington, Texas, just south of I-20, 4611 Kelly Elliott Avenue. And we'd be happy for you to get more information about, you can look up Burton, B-U-R-T-O-N, like the ski company, Burton, B-U-R-T-O-N, academy.org. You can find more information about us. We are glad you have tuned in to find us here today. And Reggie, tell them about the new moniker for our channel. What are we called?
We're calling it Blast.
Blast.
Blast. And this is not actually...
We're having a blast.
We're having a blast, yes. And there's your first reference to broadcast gold. We got to bring out cliches. Adrian's going to be bringing them left and right today. So there's your first one. So, but yes, Blast, and this is not the first time we've used this. This is actually from the North Texas Spelling Bee that we did back last in fall semester.
Yep.
You were hosting along with our man on the street, Bradley. So
that's
you're going
right.
to see him
We're
in just a
going out
moment.
there in a minute.
In just a moment. But we have the North Texas Spelling Bee this past fall. We're going to be doing a lot more events. This is a big day with all the things that we have covered. I'm really excited, and I'm going to say my adrenaline is running like Howard Dean in the election of 2004.
Well, don't make the same noises. We'll try to get through without that.
I have a little more containment than Howard Dean.
So no CNN, no Fox Today. People want to be on blast all day long.
All day long. And that's the thing, because we're going to be bringing a perspective. There's not fake news today. This is real news. We're bringing a perspective of creation science and then also a biblical perspective from the guests that we're bringing forward today. You want to stay tuned, especially if you're not in the path of totality. Keep it right here. We got a lot of fun and excitement. And I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going to unleash the fun, and we're going to unlock the knowledge today.
It's going to be great. So speaking of the spelling bee, I'm glad you brought that up. I was pleased here on Blast, the Burton live stream team. I was pleased to be joined by my co-host, who's another co-host with us today. We're going to go outside to Mr. Bradley Colvin. He is the head of our English department. Look at him out there. Look at that bright sun. We're going to come to the weather in a minute. But Mr. Colvin is outside. He is going to do some Jay Leno style, jaywalking level, man on the street interviews. How you doing, Mr. Colvin?
I'm doing well. Oh man, it feels great. The sun, I'm not going to look directly at it at the moment.
Not yet. But, not yet.
Yeah, but I'll put on my glasses here in a couple hours. But yeah, we're super excited. It's a great turnout. You can see behind me all these booths set up, many people walking around, And yeah, I'm thrilled to be here.
That's great. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
You're also an alumnus of Burton, I understand?
I am. I attended Burton for all 13 years.
Wow.
And I graduated in 2009. We had an awesome alumni weekend and a reunion with several classmates and people that we went to school with. It was an awesome time. I encourage you guys to make it out next year. I also teach. This is my first year teaching here at Burton, so It feels good to be home. I teach 3 of the English classes: speech, SAT prep, United States history, and so yeah, I definitely stay busy. And on top of all that, I'm here with the Blast team.
That's
I'm part
right.
of the Blast team, so
That's
feels
right.
great.
Well, you look good. We will be back out to you a little later, Mr. Colvin. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. You look great as well.
Reggie, we want to point out all the people behind the scenes who our camera can't see, but I'm looking at right now. Thank you so much for putting us up here, especially Mr. Aaron Long, our development director here at Burton Academy. He is the headmaster from heretofore to be referred to as His Majesty, as he will direct us in doing all that we do. We also have Mr. Jorge Garza, Travis Simpson, Mr. Gilberto Mangual, and our drone expert, Mr. David Vigil, who we are going to be seeing some good stuff from him.
I'm ready
later
for some
today.
aerial footage.
There you go.
Yes.
We are going to get some aerial footage. So, Reggie, let's turn to the main event. We are here for the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse. I know you are super excited about it. Tell us a little more about what we're going to be, why we're on the air, what we're going to be seeing today.
Well, first I'm going to throw you a curveball again.
Okay.
Because I love bringing you curveballs.
We'll see how well I can react
Well,
to
so
that.
at some point we're going to get to Pastor Kevin today, and we know that we got all these guests coming up, but Genesis 1 has some great detail about what happens during creation. In Genesis 1:14, it talks about the moons and the stars being created for signs and wonders and for seasons. Well, the season, if you actually go to the Hebrew, is Moedim, meaning for appointed times. Here's a fact. Today is Nisan 1.
Oh, wow.
In 14 days will be Passover, so in 14 days we're going to have a full moon. All of that has been put together by God, and that's what I'm excited about. We're going to see some of that. Now, the other more exciting items here today is the fact that, like we've talked about in the past, you and I have only seen partial eclipse. We experienced some of the annular eclipse last fall.
Right.
Now, that was really more centered in New Mexico and other parts of the U.S. rather than here in Texas. But today we get to see a total eclipse, and we have some great interviews that really detail the difference of what that does. So what's awesome about that, and this is what's great. Here's the sun.
Yeah, now our audience
this
is
is
seeing
just a great view. We actually have a camera here at Burton that is
Fantastic.
pointed directly at the
Look
sun.
at that.
It's so precise that we can actually see sunspots on here. That's what's so exciting. As we go back and forth here today, we're going to actually see the moon come across the sun and block it out. And that's what's so great. The way our Creator has put this in place, the sun is 400 times larger
400?
than the moon.
Wow.
400 times. But the moon is placed in such an exact location, it perfectly will block it out. And the only thing we're going to see at totality is the corona around the sun.
That's
now,
amazing.
Our resident astronomer is going to be coming very shortly.
Very soon.
And he's going to give much more details. But that's just a tease of why I'm excited about today. I mean, this is just a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Well, you have whet my appetite, ladies and gentlemen. We are so glad you've joined us here on Blast. We are going to have a great time. Now, those of you who are watching online with us, thank you again for joining us. Reggie, they can participate. They don't just have to listen to us. They also can participate and be part of this broadcast. Let them know how.
Absolutely. So that's the great thing here today, too. Once again, we're going to unleash the fun. So if you go to Solar Day 24 at burtonacademy.org.
Okay, let's say that again. It's coming up on the screen, but that's Solar Day 24
at burtonacademy.org.
Okay.
You actually can send in your videos, you can send in your pictures, you can send in videos of what you're doing. And this is a great way to tell us how things are happening. So we can see what
they might be doing in order to celebrate the eclipse.
Time.
Or they could send in a video, perhaps if they're related to a student of that student.
Absolutely.
Or a former student or faculty member. Here we see on the screen how to participate.
Yes, or Facebook. So not only can you go to the website that we talked about or to the email, you can actually participate on Facebook and YouTube. And live chat. So that we're going to be pulling those comments. You're going to be maestro of all those comments. We're going to be fielding those.
If they make a good comment, ask a good question, they might get on the air.
They might. So that's a way to participate. We want to see the pictures, the videos, and your questions. We're going to be putting them on the screen. Adrian's going to be fielding them. It's going to be great fun. We're unleashing the fun here today.
Unleashing the fun.
Oh, and Kahoot.
And Kahoot. Tell us what that's going to be like.
So once again, you're not going to see this on CNN, Channel 5, or Fox News.
They don't have Kahoot.
They don't have Kahoot.
No.
Kahoot. The Kahoot. Let's get that right. There's another. Okay. So Kahoot's very important. It is a way to actually collaborate. And work together in a way to learn. It's a very interactive learning process, and we're going to utilize Kahoot to potentially interact with up to 400 people online.
Okay.
That's a lot of interaction. Now, what's great about this too is you're going to be able to win prizes.
Win prizes.
So that's another way, unleashing the fun and having interaction today. Now, what's going to be important, we're just in a moment going to segue to our resident astronomer.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about the PDF guide, because that's going to be key from where a lot of the questions are coming from.
Well, we're going to have some great guests today, but we are going to welcome what is probably going to be my favorite guest, the interview I'm most looking forward to today. Mr. Jocelyn Cadet joins us on screen now. There he is. Thank you, Mr. Cadet.
Absolutely.
Mr. Cadet is our high school principal here at Burton Academy, but more important for today, you are, I've learned a new word, an eclipsophile. You are Reggie is excited about this eclipse, but you put him and everyone, this entire building, to shame with how excited you are about the eclipse. Tell us why, and then explain to somebody like me, who probably did not pay enough attention in science class as he should have, what is happening, what are these bodies, these astronomy is going on, and what we're going to be seeing outside.
Absolutely. So the reason I'm so excited for the eclipse is because I've seen a total eclipse before.
Okay, this is not your first one.
This is not my first one. 2017, me and my family, we drove down to Missouri. We beat the weather and we caught a total eclipse. It's hard to explain. When you feel the weather changing, the color of the sun changes, and you can look at the sun and see the spot and see the atmosphere of the sun, stuff we're never able to do. It really changes you. I tell people it's like trying to explain what it feels like to be a parent, or what it feels like to be a teacher in a classroom with kids where you're in charge. You just can't explain it. You have to experience it. I feel a lot of people are going to become eclipsophile after today. I won't be the only one. Now, when it comes to the science of a solar eclipse, so what happens is that we have the alignment of the sun, the moon, and then the Earth, with the moon in between the sun and the Earth.
So the Earth generally revolves around the sun.
Yes, but
then the moon revolves around the Earth. And this is where they're all going to line up.
Yes. Now, of course, the moon revolves around the Earth all the time. So why do we not have eclipses a lot more often? Well, the moon revolves around the Earth at an angle. So that angle has to be just right for us to have the shadow that the moon is casting to land in the right spot on the Earth, and that does not happen quite often. Okay. Now, sure, we have eclipses every year somewhere on Earth, but of course the Earth is 70% water, covered by 70% water, so we don't get these too often. So that's why I'm really excited. So that's part of that science behind it. Now, depending on where you are at, okay. Now, the majority of Americans will see part of this eclipse, but only very few people will get to see a total eclipse.
Which we're going to get here.
Which is what we're getting here. So people will be in what's called the penumbra. The penumbra is if you're in a partial eclipse, meaning the moon is covering part of the sun, but not the entire thing. That's a partial eclipse. We will be in the umbra. Which is...
All right, I'm going to remember these words so I can sound smart to other people later.
Well,
Penumbra and umbra.
I've heard that if you want to do really well in the Kahoots later on,
you need to know those
you
words.
want to remember some of the stuff that I'm talking about
sound
right
like
now.
Penumbra and umbra sound like important words to remember.
Exactly,
Okay.
So words to remember. So we are in the path of totality. That's where the moon completely covers the sun, so it's completely dark, and that's the umbra, and that's where we're in. And it's only about 115-mile path that the moon is traveling. That's how wide that path is.
Okay.
But people all the way up in Seattle will get a partial
Part of the
eclipse.
eclipse. Okay.
Exactly.
And 150 miles might sound like a lot to people, but you look at a map of the United States, it's going to be a very thin, so we're very lucky.
Exactly. Yep, very lucky. And considering the weather too, we're very lucky to get to witness this today. So that's why I'm so excited, and that's the science really behind the eclipse.
Oh, great. Well, that's some great breakdown. See, I told you he was going to come in and take it to the next level, and you did. And I appreciate that. And once again, we just appreciate your enthusiasm here, Jocelyn, but we still got some more questions for you.
Shoot.
So what we want to go first here is, okay, why is Burton putting so much into this event here today? What is the reason for that happening today?
Okay, so the first and foremost reason, it might take a little bit of time to answer this one.
Please.
I think a solar eclipse, especially a total solar eclipse, is God's signature, letting us know that despite what you hear, we are not here by accident. This is by intelligent design. He intended this to happen. This is the only place in our solar system, or the galaxy, or the universe as far as we know, that we can witness a total eclipse like we see it here. And it just so happens it's where he put creatures intelligent enough to appreciate a total eclipse. So that's the first reason why Burton's putting so much effort. Second reason, the last time we had a total eclipse was 1878. The next time is in the year 23,000 something. So that's hundreds and hundreds of years from now. Most people have never witnessed a total eclipse. We're giving our Burton community a chance to witness this while having lots of fun. So
And
definitely
together,
worth
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. No, that's good. And some of the things that are going to contribute to the fun, let's talk about the telescopes. All right, so first I want to say, okay, I know we have telescopes here for nighttime viewing, but are some of these telescopes going to be used for what we're going to see during the day with the solar eclipse?
Yes, we actually have a couple of telescopes that are made specifically for viewing the sun.
Okay, so you can't just use any telescope to look
No,
at the
you
sun.
cannot.
Okay.
You cannot just use any typical telescope, and it would be very dangerous to try to do that.
All right.
So if you are planning on using your own telescope for viewing the sun, if you do not have a solar filter, you do not want to do that. You're just magnifying the effects of the sun. That's pretty much it. So we did create filters for our telescopes, so those will be out there for anyone who wants to use them. Additionally, we have some filters for your cell phone. So if you want to start taking pictures around 12:22, which is when partiality starts, they'll be on the field, find them on the tables, put them to your cell phone, you'll be able to take pictures. So we have all of that available, telescopes with filters and some cell phone filters as well available.
Great, great. Okay, so here's the last question, and I know we wish we could keep going.
Oh,
but
I want to keep going.
We got action-packed here. 'Cause this is your favorite interview today, and I
Yes,
know you want to keep going.
my favorite interview.
It's your favorite
So much
interview.
to fit in.
There is. Okay, so last question here, Jocelyn. What can someone do to get the most out of this experience? What would you recommend since you've been through it before?
Okay, so to get the most out of this experience, I would say try to be mindful. Even though we're having a lot of fun in games, there are subtle changes that are happening once the eclipse starts that you want to pay attention to. You'll start to feel the temperature of the sun, kind of cool off on your skin.
Okay.
Pay attention to that. When we get to really, really close to totality, you'll start to hear maybe crickets and different animal sounds, like all these different things that are happening that you really want to pay attention to really get the full experience of the eclipse. And of course, and I'm just going to segue into this, you want to go ahead and go check out the guide.
Absolutely.
Okay? Go check out the event guide on the Burton website. It is chock full of really great information. If you have a camera and you want to take pictures but you're not sure how, that information's on the guide.
And I think we can put up on the screen how to reach that guide for everybody. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah,
Tell us what's in that guide,
yeah.
because I know a lot of effort went into that. Both you and Mr. Long, His Majesty,
Yes.
put in just countless hours of effort for that guide. So
Indeed, he did.
tell us what's going to be in there.
Yeah, now let's say you're looking for fun activities. We have some
There it
really
is. We see it on our screen.
really awesome crosswords that are right there in the guide on different levels. So if your kid's elementary, hey, go ahead and take the guide out, print out the crosswords, go ahead and fill them out. Really fun.
And what a great way to
again,
reinforce the learning that's being done today is to do this even after the fact.
Absolutely. And again, you may find some words from the Kahoot, from the crosswords, I'm just saying.
With prizes.
With prizes.
I'm going to keep repeating
amazing
that because
prizes.
that's what got my attention.
Yes. So you want to check that out. We also have a section on eclipse safety, how to protect yourself, how to protect your eyes during the eclipse. So you can check all of that out in the guide as well. Some information about weather. Now, one key thing I'm going to mention about the guide. Let's say you're not here at Burton. You're not on campus, right? You're just tuning in and you want to know, hey, where can I go that's in the path of totality? We have a link in the guide that you can click on. It will take you to a tracker where you can enter your information, enter your address. and it will tell you, hey, where to go.
There it is.
Yep.
That's the path that it's
That's
going to be
the
making
path.
across the continent.
Yeah, but there
okay?
is a link there. Again, His Majesty was very meticulous in the
Incredible.
information that he put on there. You know, so all I can do is bow down. Okay, because he
Well,
put a lot of time and
that's
effort
all that can be done.
into this. So there you go. So go and check it out. And there's a ton of information in there, as well as information about Livestream itself, all the great guests that we are going to have, all the research scientists that we're going to be talking about. All of that information can be found on the guide, as well as what's happening here on campus.
Okay. Well, Mr. Cadet, thank you for your time. I know you have a lot of other things to do, but yeah, fascinating stuff. Your depth of knowledge really is incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
And
with
I'll
us.
say one more thing, because I'm so hyped about this. If you are planning on just skipping out the eclipse because you don't think it is going to be that great, okay? Now, of course, practice safety. Don't go out there looking at the sun before the total eclipse. But during that time of totality, get out there and experience
Don't
this.
miss it.
I promise you, you will not regret it, okay? If your boss won't let you go out, quit for 3 minutes and then go back, say, I was just joking.
Drop what you're doing.
It is worth
Get
it.
outside.
It is so worth it to go out there during that time of totality and catch totality while being safe.
In fact, invite the boss. Then when they are so happy
They'll
that you
give you a
invited
raise.
them, a raise is coming
Absolutely.
up. All right, you heard it here first, ladies and
Absolutely.
gentlemen. Do not miss this. Thank
Sound
you again,
advice.
Mr. Cadet.
There you go.
Got it.
All right, right now, Reggie, we are going to throw it outside back to Mr. Colvin. I think Mr. Cadet has already seen one of these eclipses. I believe Mr. Colvin also is interviewing somebody and their family who also has experience with this before. Mr. Colvin.
Hello. All right.
Who have you got out there?
Well, I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. So, ladies, tell us who you are and what grade you're in.
My name is Hope. I'm in 10th grade. My name's Haven, and I'm in 8th grade.
Excellent. And so we were told that you guys have actually experienced a total solar eclipse before. And so my question to you guys is, first I want to know, how are you feeling? Like, where were you? What was the anticipation building up before you actually got to witness the eclipse that first time?
Well, we were in Missouri. We traveled up from Texas, from Fort Worth. We left our youngest sister, who was only 2 at the time. We left her with our grandparents, and we traveled up to Missouri, and we got a nice place up in I think it was a little parking lot. It was a parking lot, yeah. And we just waited for the eclipse to happen. Yeah.
And how were you feeling right before the eclipse happened? What emotions were you feeling?
Well, me and my siblings, we were all like really super excited because the day was really nice, and my brother was looking forward to hearing all the crickets and stuff when all the animals and the birds stopped singing and stuff, so we were all really excited.
Excellent. Okay, and were there any preparations that you did before, like you guys knew it was coming? Did you go out and you got your glasses? What was going on? How did you guys prepare for this?
Well, I don't exactly remember how we prepared. I guess, we just had our glasses. We were just sitting there waiting. We had our chairs. I guess we all walked around, took a walk, and we got to see like the sun shining through the leaves and like the half of the sun. And yeah, it was I think we prepared pretty well for it. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the actual event. I want you to kind of describe, as the sun is being eclipsed, kind of walk us through what to expect for those that have not experienced this before.
Well, I do remember it got very dark, and I remember taking off the glasses, and it was just this black hole in the sky. It was so cool, and there was you could see the light all around the sun, and it was just, man, it's something you're never going to forget.
Excellent. And what were your emotions as it was happening?
Well, it was, of course, a really, really amazing sight, and I was really happy and surprised because everything was quiet. Everyone wasn't talking; they just stopped, so it was really quiet. It was really, really exciting, and I remember I was only 7 at the time, and I still remember it. So it's something you won't forget, like she said.
And I'm told whenever this happens, and as the sun's being blocked, even the temperature changes. Can you speak to that?
I think it changed a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely, the sky gets darker, the temperature might change a little bit. Yeah, especially since the sun's being blocked out and the temperature is just, yeah.
Okay, and then the last thing that I want to ask is how did Hope and Haven, how did this affect you afterwards? Mr. Cadet, he was actually in there talking about how to him this is the perfect example of how we know that there is a creator and how meticulous and thoughtful he is. How do you feel post witnessing the total eclipse? And just give me some thoughts on that.
Well, I'm feeling very after seeing it for first time. I'm very excited to see this one since I know it's going to be just as spectacular and even more so being in your own hometown. And it's like, yeah, after the eclipse, I was just like, I'm never going to forget this. Like that was amazing, and it was, yeah, it's just a sign that God's there.
For me, seeing it now after I've grown a lot spiritually, it's just a greater sign that He's with us this day, and I'm just really happy right now and excited.
All right, and any final words for the people and what to expect? What do you have for them?
Well, I think it's going to be great weather. I think cause there are some clouds around there, but I think
we had to bust out our sunglasses, so I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a good view. I think it's going to be beautiful. Yeah.
Hopefully everyone gets to see it because I know it's something that no one will forget. Hopefully everyone is here and watching it. So, yeah.
Well, once again, we want to thank you, Doss Sisters, for being here with us and sharing your expertise on this subject. And we hope that this second one around is just as special for you two. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all take care.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Colvin. Thank you to the Doss Sisters, Hope and Haven. What a excellent interview. Mr. Colvin, don't get hit with that flapping in the breeze you got going out there. We're going to go to I am looking forward to this so much. Reggie, I see you in front of your green screen. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Reggie Herman here, our resident meteorologist. We have been months in anticipation of this day, waiting to see what the weather's going to be. Reggie, give us good news.
Well, there's so much to talk about, but first, let me just say, I am living the dream on the green screen, okay? I'm enjoying it right now. I'm also on cloud 9. So that's the end of my broadcast cliches because there's so much going on here today, but this green screen is great. So let's first look at the satellite imagery. That's what everyone's concerned about, what's going on with the cloud cover. But this is a great view of what you can see. You can see the sun coming up over the continental U.S. as it comes toward Texas. You see the streaming moisture as it comes this direction here, streaming moisture out of the Pacific over North Texas, Central Texas. You'll also notice here, let's go to the Texas satellite. Let's transition to the Texas satellite. This is even greater. When you look at this, you just want to start singing Texas Our Texas and how beautiful the state of Texas is. But you notice right here, look, you can see the metropolis of Dallas-Fort Worth. You can see Houston down here. You can see San Antonio here. Let me drop a quick fact for you. Right here in these three cities, the Texas Triangle, 21 million people of the 30 million people of Texas live in this triangle. Right here, Burton is a part of that. But let's get back to the weather first. Once again, streaming out of the southwest, coming out of the south, out of the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico has been opened up as of this morning, and we have moisture streaming to the north. Now, what's very important here, that's going to come into play later because we're going to have to contend with severe weather. Now, you've seen the cloud cover. It's going in the right direction. You can just see here, just to the very fringe of Dallas-Fort Worth, there's clearing coming our way. We're just dealing with cirrus clouds at this point. Let's go to the next graphic and talk a little bit more about that. So now this is actually a weather model depicting what's going to happen in the next few hours. Like I mentioned before, we're going to be very mindful of the severe weather. And there's a meteorology term that we got to bring out here. It's called the thickness. So what you see here, the red lines that go across this map right here, that is indicating the temperature from about 15,000 feet down to the surface. And what you can notice here is those red lines are coming up out of the south. Right here, like I'll move right here. You can see all these red lines just surging out of the Gulf of Mexico towards Burton, South Central Arlington. That's going to be key, and that's what this model is showing you. There's going to be showers on the increase, a lot of coverage here later tonight. We're going to have 2 rounds of storms that we're going to have to be mindful of. The good news is it's going to hold off for this eclipse. We're feeling very confident about that. Let's go to the next graphic. So this is the North American model that you're looking at here, and this is the projection of the temperatures as they're increasing in temperature here throughout the day. You'll notice as this progresses through the loop and the animation, to the south it starts cooling down. That's an indication of the oncoming storms and cloud cover that are headed this way to Dallas-Fort Worth. So that's something that, once again, we're going to continue to watch, and it's an absolute critical component of the forecast and how we're going to be having viewability and enjoying this eclipse. Let's go to the next graphic after this. So now, here's another model. This is actually the European, and this is dictating, or reflecting, I should say, what the projection is for cloud cover. You'll notice there are breaks in the cloud. The blue is indicating clear skies. The white is actually the cloud cover. This is, as I step back, you can see Dallas-Fort Worth, once again, very, very edge of it all, very touch and go, but we're feeling very confident. I'm going to make mention of, this is the same type of weather that we had back in July 29, 1878. It broke just in time for folks in Fort Worth to take in the total solar eclipse, and that's the route we're going. We're feeling very confident about it right now. All right, let's go down to the next graphic and keep this forecast rolling. Bang up job here by the graphics team at Burton Adventist Academy. We're breaking down the different types of clouds. Let's start with the cirrus clouds. That's what you're seeing outside right now. Those high wispy clouds, they're up at the top of the troposphere, very cold up there, but they allow for you to see through the sun. You can actually see them. Now, as you keep moving forward, altocumulus, mid-level, you'll notice the graphics that we provided. If we have altocumulus in the way, that definitely impacts the viewability. But the good news today is we're not dealing with altocumulus. Finally, this is the big ticket item, the cumulus clouds. That is what we have to worry about the most, because the cumulus clouds are what is the low-level moisture surging from the Gulf of Mexico. The good news is they're burning off and it's breaking away. We're in good shape. We're heading in the right direction. Let's go to the next graphic. And now we're going to pull up an hour-by-hour forecast. 9 a.m. today was 65 degrees. It's progressed and gotten much warmer. I'm already feeling it in this blazer right now. It's in the mid-70s. It's much warmer. We're right at between 11 and 12 p.m. We're knocking on the door of 12 p.m. Temperature's about 78. As we keep going towards totality after 1, between 1 and 2, we're going to be looking at 80 degrees. That's actually above normal, so it's a bit of a toasty day today here in Dallas-Fort Worth, but still a great time here that we're having watching this event unfold. Let's go to the next graphic after this. And we're going to actually look at the map of totality. Now, you'll notice the picture here that we have from line item number 6 and 1 right there. That's Keene, Texas, the holy city west of Jerusalem, is right there. And as you span up through the north here, all the way up to right here, number 9, North Dallas Academy, that's roughly 60-mile span of geography that all these academies are located, that we're going to be able to experience totality today. Another great event that this community is coming together to enjoy. Now let's actually look at the next graphic, that we're going to look at the whole continental U.S., and we're going to map out all the different academies that are going to be there on the path of totality today to witness this big event. So it starts down with number 1, with South Texas Christian Academy. They're not in the path of totality, but we appreciate that you are watching today. We're calling you out today because we appreciate you tuning in. As you continue through Texas, I'm going to say, unfortunately, it's touch and go in central Texas right now with the cloud cover, but we're keeping our fingers crossed for you that you're going to be able to enjoy the weather that we have here in north central Texas. As you keep going up, number 6 actually, that's a great location for the Oklahoma Conference that are camped out in southeast Oklahoma. I would say you're one of the prime locations other than Maine. Great location that y'all picked to watch today. Now, as you continue forward to the Hoosier State, Indianapolis, that we got an academy up there, you're in a prime viewing location. As you continue going forward, here's the additional academies that are on the path of totality, all the way up to Canada, So we span the North American continent with all these academies that are taking part in this event today, and we appreciate that. Let's go to the next couple graphics to wrap this up here. Here's the actual forecast. So we're going to start out once again, San Antonio, Central Texas. I'm sorry, it's just not looking good for you today, and even you're going to have to contend with thunderstorms. We get to the Oklahoma Conference. I mentioned you earlier there on the southeast side of Oklahoma. You're in really a great location right now, 79 degrees. You're going to have great viewability. And then Little Rock Adventist Academy, 78 degrees, 30% cloud cover. You're in a great spot as well. Then we get back to the Indiana State, the Hoosier State. Once again, 71 degrees, 40% coverage. You're looking great as well. Spring Valley, Dayton, Ohio, 70 degrees. That's even picture perfect. I wish I was there with you. 60% coverage. It's actually going to be on the decrease by the time totality strikes there in Dayton. And then finally, as I move out of the way here, look at here, Grandview Adventist Academy in Canada, 47 degrees, also known as 8 degrees Celsius. Perfect temperature to enjoy, and the blazer would make much more sense up there in Canada. But great weather is in store. Anything north of central Texas, from Dallas all the way north along the path, you're looking great. Let's go to the next graphic to start finishing this out. Now, the reason we're coming here, this is very important. As you go home today, especially here in north central Texas, you're going to need to be mindful of the severe storms that are going to be popping. You can notice and this is a projected radar that's indicating here from the NAM model, you can see moving forward here that we have a lot of Gulf moisture surging out of the Gulf of Mexico here. And that is going to be very important for us as we travel home today. We're going to have to be mindful of the storms. This also shows discrete supercells, and that's going to be very important to notice because that's going to produce potential hail and tornadoes that we're going to have to be watching. Now, let's go to the final graphic to wrap up this forecast. This is another great graphic that's been put together here. I want to point out the fact that the big key item here is going to be hail. We're going to have to watch that later today. We're looking at ping pong size hail all the way up to baseball size hail. Tornadoes, another big impact. I'm going to say this is the best setup we've had for tornadoes all spring long, so we got to keep our eyes to the skies. Heavy rain, this is going to be a big contingent that we're going to have to pay attention to throughout the week. Flooding from all that heavy rain. We could have 3 to 5 inches of rain this week here in North Texas. That's a lot of rain that we're going to have to contend with. And then now, here's the timeline that we put together. After totality, 3 to 6 p.m., we're going to start seeing those scattered showers. 6 to 8, widespread storms. That's very important that you're home by the time 6 to 8 hits. And then overnight tonight, that's when we can have more severe storms. And I'm even going to say this, the second round could hit at 10 p.m. to about midnight. It could be a quasi-linear convective storm, which is good news because take heart, that means if we have tornadoes, we don't have severe tornadoes. So those things that we're going to have to pay attention to post-eclipse. With all that, I'm done. Adrian, I'm going to toss it back to you to carry on with more of the conversation today. I've had a great time here in front of the green screen.
Wow, Weatherman Herman making it happen, a quasi-invective storm. I can't even keep up. I can't even get, like your shirt says, totally solarific. Thank you very much, Reggie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was my pleasure a few days ago to interview a gentleman by the name of Mr. Jim Burr. He is a telescope manufacturer, and he has produced those over his entire career. He's now 87 years old, and we were excited to have him join us and let him share some of his knowledge of astronomy and what he's looking forward to. I believe we're going to go to that pre-recorded interview now. All right, we want to welcome everybody here. We're excited for our next guest, Mr. Jim Burr, who we're going to interview. You are watching this on record here on Solar Day at Burton Adventist Academy. Jim, we want to welcome you and thank you very much for joining us. Glad to have you here today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, a man who is in heavy demand, we are very fortunate to have you joining us today. So as we are here on the day that the eclipse is going to happen, here on Solar Day here at Burton Adventist Academy, tell me your thoughts about today's eclipse and why it's a special event. You've been studying astronomy for a long time, and I know you have an expertise in a wide array of areas of astronomy, but specifically for today's solar eclipse, tell me why you think it's a special event and why it's something people should stop and pay attention to.
Well, of course, it's an exciting event just to see it, but it also shows us, that God has created these laws that govern his universe. And we can predict, an eclipse for the next 2,000, 3,000 years, exactly where it's going to happen, exactly when it's going to happen, because it follows the laws, that he has established. And so that makes it interesting. Of course, we can follow like comets, Halley's Comet for the last, thousands of years or future thousands of years. And so that's kind of interesting. It's also interesting that in Genesis 1, verse 14, it says, and God said, let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two greater lights. I have dyslexia, as I said. Okay. The greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon earth and to rule over the day and over the night and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. It's interesting. They're going to be for days and for years, for signs and for seasons. What's that all about? What's the seasons all about? And it appears that the story of salvation has actually been told in the constellations. And the General Conference is working on a Pathfinder honor on the story of salvation in the stars. And this goes way back to the 1800s when they started, Francis Rulison started looking at the meaning of star names and made notes, and others have written books. You can find books, The Gospel in the Stars, The Story of Salvation in the Stars, and it looks like we're going to have a Pathfinder honor where you could, for example, just not much, I won't spend much more time on this, but you can look at Arcturus. It's a star in the constellation of Bootes, and Bootes is a type of Christ. Bootes is a man, and he has a sickle in one hand, and he has a staff in the other. He's a good shepherd, and yet at the end, he comes in the harvest. So you might look for that. The General Conference sent us the program that they're working on, and I know it takes time to get a Pathfinder honor. So that's just kind of some interesting things, that are going on.
Hey, we're going to have a bunch of students here at our academy, obviously, plus many other guests today. So do you have any advice for young people, students, or even old people like me who might want to get into astronomy, might want to look into some telescopes? How would somebody get started? Because the version that's behind you, or what you made for NASA, that's obviously quite an investment and a tall order to get started with. Are there some kinds of telescopes that you could let us know that for the more amateur viewer would be able to get started with?
Yeah, I would suggest going to Orion telescopes. They're a company out of California, and you don't want to go to some store and buy a telescope. These people think of telescopes, you think of these little things you look through like this.
Right, exactly.
And that stuff is pretty much junk.
Okay.
It's pretty much junk. And I mean, I hear people say, well, we bought this telescope, we haven't seen a thing. But we have a smaller version of this. I'll see if I can give you a picture of it. And it's called the Dobsonian telescope.
Okay.
That's an 8-inch telescope. That's one I built for Doug Batchelor. I think I got another view of it here. There, if you go to Orion telescope, you'll see it's called the Dobsonian telescope. They start at, you can get them like 4-inch diameter for a couple $100. You can get a 6-inch diameter, 8-inch. I say get the biggest telescope you can afford.
Okay. Very good.
So they make these. This is designed to sit on a picnic table. That's an 8-inch one, but you can get them. I mean, a 6-inch one would show you the rings of Saturn.
Oh wow!
Moon around Jupiter. The moon, our moon would be awesome. And so it's called the Dobsonian, and it's a long story how that name came up with, but it's a simple telescope, and I mean, you can get them for $300, $400. They start at maybe $199 in that range, and Orion telescope has quite a variety there you can get, as opposed to one of these cheap things that you see in garage sales all the
Gotcha.
time.
Right. Yes. And that's the way I would view a telescope. Sure. And that's why I say we need your expert advice for amateurs like me. And another piece of advice for amateurs like me. We want to thank you for your time today, Jim. And as we're wrapping up, but especially for our students, since again, here at Burton Academy, that is our main focus, is teaching our students about Christ and giving them the knowledge, especially in science such as astronomy. All right, we want to again thank Mr. Jim Burr for joining us there and sharing with us that great knowledge. We are going to quickly go back to Reggie at the green screen. We've done the weather. Reggie, tell us where our eclipse is now. I think you've got the eclipse tracker coming up.
All right, well, thank you, Adrian. Landfall has just happened. That's what this graphic is showing you right now. At 12:07, we actually had landfall here on the North American continent. That's what it's showing you here. This is roughly the 120-mile width that Jocelyn was talking about earlier this morning, and you can see now it's going to be progressing north.
And
it's coming at over 1,600 miles an hour towards us here at DFW, and it's on its way. I'm looking forward to it. Adrian, I'm going to toss it right back to you so you can start the interview.
You got it. It's making landfall there in western Mexico, everybody, near the city of Durango. That's awesome. So we are glad now, thank you, Reggie, to be joined on our set by Mrs. Ellen Thomas. Miss Thomas, thank you for being with us. How are you feeling today?
I feel better.
You feel better? Okay,
I feel
good.
Better, not quite as stressed.
You're the principal here of Burton Adventist Academy, right?
Yes.
You are the queen, you're in charge, you tell everybody what to do, or tell me more about being a principal and tell me more about Burton.
Well, it's not so much me telling people what to do, it's more about me supporting what needs to be done. And, I try to support the teachers, the parents, our vice principals, and the school board. And, we've had lots of events and trying to support and get things going, keep things going.
I believe I read in a book at one point, spelled B-I-B-L-E, that leaders are indeed servants and support, like you just said.
Well, that's what I try to do.
Well,
so, I've been out on the ball field at the bouncy balls.
Okay, all right,
yes.
Having a good time. The kids having a good time
having
out
a
there?
good time,
Excellent,
yes.
Excellent. Well, Reggie, we are glad to have Miss Thomas with us. Thank you for joining us back on the set.
Yes, it's so good to see you, Ellen. And we go back Ellen's known me since I was a wee lad.
Oh, my.
And it's so great to see. And I'm going to say, you are ageless. And it's so good for you to be
Ageless.
sitting
Yes.
next to you here on the couch.
She
You weren't
does
ready
not
for
look
that.
like she could possibly have known you since
No.
you were a wee lad.
Exactly.
You are not ageless.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm fast approaching 50 in a very short time. Well, so Ellen, let's just jump into some of these questions here. And once again, thank you for making this possible. I know there's tons of other people here today that are making this possible, but obviously it starts here from the
Yes,
leadership on
absolutely.
campus, and we thank you for doing something like this. But can you tell us how many volunteers have been a part of this process today to make this all happen?
Well, that number has been a moving number.
Okay.
So I would say there's at least 300 or more
Oh, my.
volunteers in some capacity or another, but that's been moving because we've had, we have parents with children, and we have parents helping over here. We have, it's amazing how many volunteers we have.
That is quite an operation, yeah.
Yes.
It is. And I think it's coming together great. I'm having a lot of fun. I know you're having fun. I can see the fun written all over your face right now.
Oh, yes.
It's a blast, Mrs. Thomas.
A blast.
A blast.
A blast.
Nicely done. You're made for broadcast. All right, so next question. All right, so how long has this been taken to put together? I mean, how long has the planning process been for this to happen?
Well, I would say it started last year. Last school year, we started talking about the eclipse, and probably a year ago, and work in progress. I always hit the panic button when they talk about this fall fair field, because I think of the little ones.
Yeah.
And like we just lost one for a moment from a parent, and so I'm like, oh, this was my fear. But it's all come together so nicely, and parents are really involved, but I would say probably a little over a year.
Okay.
Wow.
And so last question here, and I think you've hit on it. What's key is the commitment of the community that we have here at Burton Adventist Academy
Yes.
to make this happen. That's huge.
Yes.
But final question, what type of planning has gone on to make this happen? You said it took a year, but what else has been a part of this? What all happened?
We've had a lot of admin meetings, and so to bring the program together to decide what needs to be done, how we want it to look, how we want it to feel. Mr. Cadet and Mr. Long have been key components in that.
That's His Majesty, Mr. Long.
Mr. Long,
Yes,
yes.
that's correct.
Yes. They get real excited about, and then the live streaming, that's been a big part of it. I've always volunteered to help with the technology and stuff. They usually tell me no. I don't know. I'm not quite sure why. I think it might be my age.
You're ageless. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely ageless. So
Yes.
that's not it. That we can rule that out. That's not the problem.
Okay. But
I'm sure it's because you have so much else to do.
Well, I always volunteer though, and you can ask them. I'm always willing to do anything. So, but that's, a lot of admin.
Well, you are an incredible leader. Thank you very much for your time here. I like I said, a leader who is a servant is the best kind. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. There she goes, ladies and gentlemen. And Reggie, now I believe, if I've got my timing correct, the partial eclipse is beginning or has already begun. We're close. All right, we're getting
coming
close.
up. We're almost there, but not quite yet.
We are getting there. So when it does begin, which is about to happen, I want to see the moon coming all the way in front of the sun. Can I just look up?
No, that would not be recommended.
That's not a good idea.
No, it's not a good
Okay.
idea. And really, hopefully everyone has these glasses, and I'm not going to reach because I'm going to have to move this boom to get
I
there.
am going to reach.
Okay, there we go.
I will demonstrate the
for
glasses.
us. I appreciate that, Adrian. So this is very important that you understand how we do this here. As we said, partiality is getting ready to happen. That's the time you want to start putting the glasses. If you're going to look up, if you keep looking at the horizon, if you're looking down, you obviously don't need the glasses. But if you're going to start taking in this momentous occasion and you're going to be looking up at the skies, your eyes are on the skies, you're going to want to look like Adrian there, very fashionable with these protective lenses.
And I can see nothing in here, nothing.
You're blacked out.
Yep.
And what's important is that allows for you to see. Now, also these glasses is very important that you have ISO 12312. That's a very specific type of glasses. Burton has provided that to the folks here today on site. Make sure if you're going out here in the next few minutes, if you're in North Texas, make sure you have those glasses on if you're looking at those type of things.
Yes, very important, everybody. Do not look at the sun without your
Without
glasses.
these glasses.
I was making a flippant comment about it before, but that is very serious. Do not look directly at it. All right. We have told our audience that they can join us, and now is the time for them to join us. We are going to look for His Majesty to put up on screen some of the comments we have. Look at that.
All right.
Conroe Adventist Academy. I believe that is near Houston. If I
you are
remember
correct.
correctly.
Your geography of Texas is spot on.
There we go.
You once again you're hitting 1,000 right now. You're batting 1,000.
Well, we welcome Conroe Adventist Academy for joining us. Look at those kids. That is so cute. That's amazing.
Oh, we got another one.
Oh, there we go. There's
Still
Conroe again.
again.
Now we've got the faculty in there.
Oh, Swaja. Oh, there we go.
Swaja.
Sunny Southside Dallas. Swaja.
That's
right.
here in our DFW area.
Very
Look
much
at them.
So. Very great to see them on. Oh, look.
I think they've got us on in the background
I
there.
think I saw us.
Oh, look at this comment. We're going to go back to that. Oh, is that us? That's us in the background. Okay. I love it. Reggie doing the weather. Swaja joining in. And there you go. There's the comment. I second that comment.
Wow.
Awesome job, Reggie.
It warms my cockles of my heart to see that.
Says Valerie,
Valerie,
another alum. Thank you, Valerie. Wow, all the way from
Guatemala. International.
Angel Alberto. I am not going to get the rest of that name right. I'm not even going to attempt. I'm going to butcher it. So, yeah, continue to participate with us, guys. Thank you for joining us there, the Facebook, the YouTube, and get at us with whatever you need. I think we're going outside now to Mr. Colvin again, and I believe he's going to have some interviews. There we go. Mr. Colvin, who have you got?
Well, hello, it's Mr. Colvin. I'm out here on the streets amongst the people. I am a people person, and why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
My name is Connor. I'm in 8th grade at Burton Adventist Academy.
8th grade, wow. Okay, so my first question for you today is, how excited are you for this total solar eclipse? What are you feeling right now?
I'm really hyped right now. I've been waiting for this day for a couple years, so I'm pretty excited.
Pretty excited? And what aspects of the solar eclipse are you looking forward to? Have you heard what's going to be happening? And so if so, what really jumps out to you?
The darkness of the totality, and that we're going to get like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, like we're standing out here getting a sunburn right now, and then it's just going to be complete darkness. That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so how do you think this solar eclipse compares to a lot of the other, if you've seen like shooting stars or anything like that, as far as what goes on up in the sky, where does this land, like as far as ranking for you?
Like a 10.
A 10. Yeah, so better.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. So probably more exciting than what you've ever witnessed before, as far as that goes.
Yes.
Yes. So, what do you hope to see or feel as this is going on?
Coolness. The coolness of the moon moving past the sun.
Excellent. And then, have you been talking to your friends about this? The 8th graders. How have you guys felt about it?
We've been pretty excited and hype.
Excellent. And how do you feel like this will impact your overall understanding and perspective as far as space goes, as far as God and His creation? What do you feel there?
I think it would strengthen my trust in God, and yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Mr. Colvin,
yes.
I've got a question.
Oh, please
and
ask.
Since Connor can't hear me, I'm going to have to relay it through you.
Yes.
What grade is Connor in here at Burton Academy?
So he did mention that, but can you repeat your grade, sir?
8th.
8th grade.
8th grade.
So we have an 8th grader here, yes.
Well, you tell Connor that we are impressed with the maturity and knowledge that he is displaying here as an 8th grader. Thank you, Connor.
I am relaying the message to you that they are so impressed by you. We want to thank you so much for being here today and allowing me to interview you, and I hope you enjoy the event and it's everything that you want it to be, sir. Thank you. Excellent.
All right. Well, back inside to us, we are going to go to Reggie. Reggie, where is that eclipse at now?
All right, we're back in front of the green screen, living the dream. Here we go. We're showing the actual path of totality as it's coming through Mexico right now. You can see previously, as we point to this, right here, I'm going to walk back off. You can see the timeline click, the speed and the miles right here. We're seeing this all go through. We're just now starting to pass through Mexico, and right now, where we're at, it's only 12:27. We're getting ready to hit just partial eclipse territory here in North Texas. Now you can see as we're coming up, the United States, the eclipse has just crossed over the border. And so now we're moving forward into Texas. Everything's starting to happen. The event that we waited for so long is materializing in front of our eyes right now. We're very excited about that. And we're going to have some additional views that you're going to be able to see. In just a little bit, we're going to go here to the aerial view of the campus and what's going on. And I'm going to toss it back to Adrian first.
All right, that is amazing. Look at that thing speeding through Texas there, across Durango, the state of Coahuila in Mexico, and coming up here to the U.S. border. And our time here in the DFW area is a little over an hour away. Now I believe we are going to head back outside, not to Mr. Colvin, but to our roving drone camera that Mr. David Vigil is operating for us. Mr. Vigil, show us what we are looking at outside. Look at that. There is the ball field. All of the booths and games set up. All of the, you earlier could see the crowd behind me, but we've got quite a crowd growing out there. That is an incredible view here at Burton Adventist Academy. That building in the forefront, ladies and gentlemen, just behind the ball field is the gymnasium where I am sitting. The other building there is the main education building where the elementary school is, and what is not able to be seen is the junior high building. We are flying over the softball field. We're directly over that's underneath us right now. You're looking at the ball field where all the booths and set up the baseball field. We got softball where we're over, baseball field that we're looking at, and then where we're located, the gymnasium. Now we see Reggie.
The field here at Perryman Field. What a beautiful sight, seeing the folks having some fun.
Thank you, Reggie. There we go, yes, and Perryman Field. All right, we want to thank Mr. Vigil for that view. There was another interview, ladies and gentlemen, that I was proud to be part of a few days ago. We had Dr. Jake Hebert and Miss Emily Steele from the Institute for Creation Research, and they had lots of great knowledge to drop on us, and we are going to go take a look at that interview now. Well, welcome everybody. We want to thank you for joining us. I have with me Dr. Jake Hebert and Miss Emily Steele of the Institute for Creation Research. We are very excited to have them here on campus at Burton Academy. They have been speaking to the students at chapel this morning, and they are joining us here. You guys are going to be watching this on the day of the eclipse, the solar day here at Burton, which we are having an excellent time enjoying and looking forward to the event that's about to happen. So you'll be watching it on that day, and we want to welcome you guys to campus and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And Dr. Hebert, let me start with you. The solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse that we're here to view today, how does that relate with the concepts of creation science that you've been sharing us today? What does this event tell us in relation to the base that you've given us here, this foundation that you've set up already?
Well, you know, total solar eclipse like we have here on Earth requires some special conditions.
Okay.
And
please describe for me and the audience what those conditions are.
Well, basically, you need the moon and the sun to be the same size in the sky, apparent size in the sky. Now, it turns out the sun is about 400 times bigger than the moon.
Wow.
But it's also 400 times farther away. So the apparent size of an object in the sky depends on its true size, but also how far away
the distance
it is
from your...
And so what happens is those two factors cancel out. And so the sun and the moon have very nearly the exact same apparent size in the sky, about half a degree. So if you held up your thumb, you could pretty much cover the moon or cover the sun with your thumb. And so they need to be the same size, and of course they need to line up. Now the reason you don't have, now you know the moon goes around the Earth, once a month, and you might wonder, well, how come we don't have a total solar eclipse every month, right? Well, it's because the moon's orbit or around the Earth is at an angle. And so a lot of times the shadow of the moon doesn't even hit the Earth. It completely misses it. So everything has to be kind of lined up. You know, the moon has to be lined up with the Earth and the sun, and that shadow's got to be hitting the Earth.
The same distance. Gotcha. Yep.
And we call that syzygy.
Yeah.
Syzygy.
Syzygy.
Yes.
It's a really fun word.
That is a word that I have learned, S-Y-Z-Y-G-I, I believe, right? Yes, which is very strange spelling, but it's a word I've learned for this broadcast. Yes, syzygy.
Yes.
And that's when all those things line up. Okay. Well, Ms. Steele, how do you feel that the eclipses demonstrate the engineering that Jesus would have put into and that God would have put into the creation of the world.
Right. So I think it's one of the biggest testimonies that we have in the sky because of how precisely they line up, because it's not random chance that the sun is 400 times farther away and 400 times bigger, and that the orbits are just so precisely created that we can tell you the exact second when this eclipse is going to happen today.
Okay.
And so you can't set a clock to random chance, but you can, like time was created by Jesus himself.
Understood.
He says that he created it in the very first verse of Scripture. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And so when God created time, he also created the planets and the sun and the moon to help us to use those as time. And so you are able to see the precision that can come from there, and that is a testimony to his creation and not to random chance.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So would it be fair to say that the preponderance of coincidences itself demonstrates a designer?
Right. By the way, you could go to any other planet in our solar system or any other moon in our solar system, and you would not be able to see a perfect total solar eclipse. It's only here on Earth, and it's only here on Earth that you've got people who can appreciate it. So we don't think that's a coincidence.
Interesting. So that was going to be one of my other questions. So there are no other planets in the solar system that ever see a total solar eclipse.
Not like here.
Not like we're going to see today.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Can you tell me a little more about why that is? Is it because their moons are different sizes and distances? Okay.
That's it. That's it. I mean, it's really remarkable.
And other planets have multiple moons.
They
correct?
do, but again, they don't line up. Or I think there's one moon where you sort of could get one, but it happens so fast it's like not worth mentioning. This is the only place in our solar system where you can see these really awesome spectacles.
And then, as you point out, yet another coincidence, also the only place where there's a creature who's willing, who's capable of understanding what they're seeing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot of science from the eclipses, and they're also useful for historians because because we know we can time them so precisely. You can use them to date historical events.
Right, because you can time them backwards as well as forwards.
Right.
Okay, and when you see people writing in ancient history about this strange event that they wouldn't have been able to explain as well as we can now, we can date that.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
All right. We want to thank again Dr. Jake Hebert and Miss Emily Steele for that interview. We are pleased now to be joined live. This is going to be my favorite interview of the day. I have been looking forward to this. No pressure.
Man.
No pressure.
Wow.
So we have with us the president of the Texas Conference, Pastor Elton DeMoraes. Now, Pastor DeMoraes, for those who may not be familiar, tell us what is a Texas Conference? What does that mean? What do you do as president? Let us know.
Before we go there, thank you for this opportunity today. It is what a great event, what a great opportunity for us to come together as a community to witness this amazing event, right?
Thank you.
So, Texas Conference, right, a big name. Think about this, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Texas. Our headquarters for the work in Texas is in Alvarado, and I'm the president of this organization. The Texas Conference comprises 85% of the state of Texas.
Okay.
We have another sister conference that is in Texaco that comprises the rest, the other 15%, plus New Mexico.
Okay.
So
and Alvarado, for those who may not be familiar with the area, about a 25-minute drive from where we're sitting
From where we are, south of Fort Worth. Okay. And and I have the opportunity to lead this amazing organization, 70,000 members, 350 churches.
70,000?
70,000.
Wow.
And 350 churches, 22 schools and academies. So it is an amazing place, and we're grateful for the opportunity to serve in that capacity.
That's great. Well, let me also just say thank you for making that trek up here from Alvarado today to be here on campus.
for giving us the time.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate that. So you've been here a while now. You've been able to wander around campus, walk around campus, look at some things that are going on. What are your thoughts so far from what you're seeing?
It's exciting. Just the energy, right? You see the community coming together, parents and students and the community at large, and just to see people interacting, eating some nice, good food, and just waiting for this event, right? I think it's an opportunity for us to keep building community. This, where we are here, the church and the school, Burton Academy, is all about building community, and I think this event keeps us helping us in doing that.
Right. No, very well said. So, okay, now we talked about you wandering around and seeing the carnival-like atmosphere that we have, the activity, the fun that we're having. But let's talk specifically about the celestial event. What are your thoughts on that we're getting ready to witness here in really just less than an hour?
Yeah. You know, it goes back because we have this, folks always looking at this, what is this has to do with the Bible, and especially with the second coming of Christ. I go a little bit further. Every time I think about this eclipse, I think about Psalms 19:21. The heavens declares the glory of God, and the firmament, the heavens, talks about His handiwork. I just think about the power of God in creating the sun, the moon, the stars, and us being able to witness this event.
The ability to move these giant bodies.
And to give the scientists an opportunity now to study the sun, because now, as I understand, as the moon covers this, and now they can study the outer parts of the sun. What a great opportunity to do that. So it's an opportunity for us to see the power of God. It's an opportunity for scientists to keep studying this awesome, the stars and the sun and the moon, and an opportunity for us to come together and witness this live here in 2024.
Well said once again. And I have one more question here, Adrian. I think really you kind of summarized it right there, but last question for you.
Yeah.
What would you like people to ponder and to consider here as we take in this event?
Takeaway.
Yeah. I think for me is this. Sometimes we're so busy with life, the fragmentation of time, that we don't have time to just stop and enjoy. And I know that some people are talking, all this thing about the eclipse, and why we're having all this happening. Well, why can't we just stop and just observe and come together as a community and take the time to see the power of God at work?
Yeah.
So
regular business can pick it back up tomorrow.
Exactly. So, life is so busy, there's so many things happening. We're just pausing for 30 minutes here today, and just to be able to enjoy this. I hope anyone that is watching, listening, will be able to do that. And just enjoy, take some time, build community, eat some good food, and be able to enjoy this. That when is going to happen again? 2045?
Well, here in the U.S., yes. Here
in
in the U.S. and in Alvarado, in Texas, 2345.
23, yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully we're in the kingdom by then.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so.
Hopefully so.
So that's why I take advantage of this as an opportunity to take a break and see the power of God at hand.
Well, that's great. Pastor DeMorris, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
What an honor and pleasure it is for us to have you join us. And
thank you.
I appreciate all those
so
thoughtful
exciting.
words.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Well, we are going to go back outside now, Reggie, to Mr. Vigil, Mr. David Vigil's drone camera. Let's see what we've got going on out there. I think the last time, as you pointed out, with the Perryman Field.
Yes.
Now, you won't be at the green screen to show everybody where we're at on this occasion, but we will get a check to see whether that weather is holding up. And I think we're having some technical difficulties. His Majesty is waving at me, so we're going to have to...
I don't think those waves for you.
Maybe not for me. He's maybe waving at somebody else, but I think some technical difficulties might be holding us up.
So let me jump in here and help you as we string this along.
Okay.
Here, okay. When we were finishing up our comments, I don't know if you noticed they put on the screen the actual partial eclipse was happening.
Is it happening now?
It's happening now. We had it on the screen. We mentioned earlier that we have the camera focused on the sun.
There it is.
You can actually look
there
at that.
It is.
That is amazing.
That
is happening right now. And look, you can still see the clouds. Just some
clouds coming across. But boy, that looks like a pretty good view. And there is a sunspot. You're right. Now the clouds have blacked it out. But just for a moment there, right in the middle, there is a dark dot, a sunspot. Wow, that is incredible to see. And we're going to be going out there live. I'm looking forward to that here in about 45 minutes. You and I are going to head out there and get to see this live. I hope everybody else who is able to look. And I think, are we going outside to the drone now? No, we're not going to get some drone footage. The drone is having trouble. The drone's letting us down. This technology technology that is supposed to be helping us out. The computers. Don't you love how you have to prove to robots that you're not a robot? I mean, that's
right.
So we've got the ground cam. We're looking at, boy, that still looks bright and sunny out there. That is amazing.
It's great weather that we still are witnessing.
I hope we're going to get to have some of that food saved for us. Oh, and we are going to get drone cam. In the end, oh, there we go.
There we go. Back up in the aerial shot here.
Love it. Look at that.
I mean, you're 100 feet above this property,
and now we're over the baseball field, over Perryman Field, looking at the softball field. Last time we were at the softball field looking back. Now we're on the baseball field looking at the softball field.
Let me add this. What you see there at Perryman Field, I just found this out in talking to a man on the street, Bradley, our reporter, that we won a grant here at Burton.
A grant? Okay, hang on a second, because right at this angle, right there, you can see the steeple off in the background.
Oh, there you go.
That is the Arlington Seventh-day Adventist Church, which we spoke to last night. We're going to speak to again. So tell us again about the grant that
So I'm
Mr.
saying they
Colvin
won the
building?
grant here, about $50,000 for improvements of the Perryman Field. That will start this summer. So next season, it'll be a new and improved field, and that is all thanks to the hard work that Bradley Colvin did.
Thank you,
I want
Mr.
to give a
Colvin.
shout out to Colvin, Bradley
Thank
Colvin.
you, Mr. Colvin. Well, we're going to come back inside the studio now. Thank you, Mr. Vigil, for that drone footage and that steeple you just saw, the steeple of the Arlington Seventh-day Adventist Church. It is now our pleasure to welcome to the set Pastor Kevin Wells. And Reggie, this is going to be our best interview of the day.
You just keep stacking the pressure on top of each guest as they come next to you. I like it.
This is going to be the best interview of the day. Pastor Kevin, thank you for joining us. So tell us, Arlington Seventh-day Adventist Church, Burton Adventist Academy, where we're sitting right now, how are those two related? What is the special relationship between those institutions?
Oh, the special relationship is that Burton Academy, I would say it's a primary ministry of the Arlington Seventh-day Adventist Church. You know, of course, we are the sole constituent church, and we have probably hundreds of our kids go to school here. And we have a good working relationship. The staff here are just amazing. The families are tremendous people. And it's just a real privilege to work together. You know, one of the things about ministry is that the elementary age, those are the years that kids make decisions for Christ. And Burton Adventist Academy is just an indispensable resource when it comes to
making those first impressions.
Exactly. You know, I once did the math on it, and it's like, as a pastor, I have like a half-hour time each week with kids. An average teacher, the first week of school, I'm like 50 weeks behind them, you know, as far as time with kids. And honestly, I was won to Christ through the faithful work of Seventh-day Adventist Christian educators. You know, so
which they do a great job of here at Burton.
Yes, they do. They do a wonderful job here.
All right, well, that's a great segue here. Let's talk and get very specific, because we talked about earlier when we came here and started this live broadcast, we talked about the fact that we want to give a biblical perspective, look through the lens of the Bible for this event that's getting ready to happen. So here's my first question for you. What does the creation story tell us about salvation? Why is that so important to salvation?
Oh, well, the creation story tells us that we were lovingly, intentionally created by God, okay? And that because we are lovingly, intentionally created by God, that establishes an intrinsic value within humanity. That tells us that things that happen in this world, that we're not just the subject of just chance and of whim, you know, and I know that even within Adventist circles, there's people who want to suggest, well, you know, we got here through evolutionary mechanisms, that's the way God chose to bring things about. I understand people taking that perspective. That's not mine personally, and it's not because I'm getting a check from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's just from the perspective of looking at it like, you know, a couple weeks ago, I was driving down the road, and this will sound really random, and I saw this cardinal that had been struck by a car that had driven past me. And the bird was just laying there in the middle of the roadway, just flapping its wings. And I felt this immediate sense of, oh, that's horrible. And honestly, I did think at the same time. So I'm supposed to believe that God used the process of death and destruction in order to evolve us over millions of years. And that just was so incongruous with the God who so loved the world.
With the character that you see in many other aspects,
You know, so I think the creation story tells us a very important thing. One, it tells us that there is intentionality about us.
On purpose.
And two, it tells us that God does love us. And that there was an intended order to things that somehow has just been broken. And I think everybody kind of intuitively recognizes something's askew here.
Right, this is not exactly the way it's supposed to be.
This is not the way it was intended to be. So that is, for me, that's it. I mean, I know that's kind of a very quick brush over it, but I think it's important. I think it's important that we maintain and understand what the creation story does tell us about salvation.
Right. Well, so let's stay here for the last question. Genesis 1:1.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say from your perspective is something that's very unique that sometimes people don't realize, that doesn't really
Sure.
stand out?
You know, one of the things about Genesis 1:1 that I think is a jewel that most people don't think about, and let's consider this here. People want to say, well, how do you know the Bible is true? Well, okay, you can examine it. You can go and look, for instance, at the data within the book of Luke. A lot of historians will say, look at Luke. Luke gives an extraordinary amount of verifiable details that are not dependent upon the Bible, okay? Genesis 1:1, actually, that first statement, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You know, philosophically, looking at that statement tells us something. In the beginning. Okay, well, you know, it wasn't until the early part of the 20th century that scientists basically came to the conclusion there was a beginning. Okay? So the very first statement of Scripture is one that is scientifically, at least, if we can't say verifiable, but is certainly affirmed that there was a beginning. So the very first statement of Scripture, without appealing to the Bible, is one that is congruous with the basic scientific understanding. And then it also philosophically is attributable. I mean, is solid. Like, for instance, there's this, there was I think it was a medieval Muslim scholar, okay, who put forth what's called the Kalam cosmological argument. And it works like this.
There's another word I'm going to have to
Yeah,
write.
I wish we had a pin to write that.
Cosmological argument. I'll remember that one.
K-A-L-A-M.
My vocabulary has increased so much.
Yeah, and this is the way it works. It works like this. Everything that has come into being has a cause. Okay? The universe has come into being. Therefore, the universe has a cause. Okay? Now, what would be the characteristics of that cause? Well, for one, you would have to have a being that is intelligent. Because, I mean, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, we have intelligence. Okay? We also have individuality. We have these distinctions amongst the elements of the universe, amongst ourselves. So it would suggest that whatever the source, the fountainhead of in the beginning, the universe has personality, it has intelligence, has purpose. And you start looking at the Bible and the picture that it presents of God, you can say, wait a second here. Here's the character that fulfills those necessary ingredients, for lack of a better term, those necessary conditions, those necessary abilities and powers, and that's right there. And once again, you don't have to appeal to Scripture to say, I told you so. I mean, that very first statement of the Bible can be subjected to both scientific and philosophical inquiry.
Wow.
You know?
In the beginning. That's incredible.
Yeah. And another one fair on the in the beginning, it's like this here. We know that there was an end in the beginning because you cannot have an infinite amount of time preceding any moment because you can never get to that moment. The fact that we can circle on our calendars that today is April the 8th, year of our Lord 2024, tells us there was not an infinite amount of time to get here.
Backwards, okay.
Because you can't ever make it to any particular point if you have an infinite journey to go. All right?
Yeah.
Okay? So there was a beginning, that's when the clock started, and hence we end up here. So that's why I really love Genesis 1:1.
Yeah. That was a lot. And I forget that you are a philosopher. Not only are you a theologian, but you're a philosopher. And you saw that in action right there. Yes.
Well, Pastor Kevin, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate that insight. And we are now going to turn to our audience. You can see on the bottom of the screen how to join the Kahoot game. This is going to be very exciting. Now, here, Reggie, let's give a little inside baseball to the audience.
Sure.
We have done a lot of practice. We have gamed this out. We have our broadcast down. But this part, I hope they're tuning in now and they remember this. This is going to be the most flying by the seat of our pants
that we've ever done.
That we have been doing.
Yes.
So you can see the code if you want to get into the game there, 304-720. Join up join our Kahoot game at www.kahoot.it or with the Kahoot app. Now, for an old man like me who was born in the 1900s, this is a very newfangled thing, and we can see all of these guys joining up. I know my children understand Kahoot. They've used it many times, and look at all these.
You realize it's been around since 2013.
I was an old man then, too. So
okay.
I'm so old. I've been old for a long time.
And you've embraced it.
If the year starts with a 2, I'm already lost.
There you go.
I'm already lost.
All
so
right.
we've got Genius Rabbit joining us, Mystery Urchin, Clever Badger, and myriad others. And so I think we're going to go to our first question. Not yet. We are not going to go to see. So here's the flying by the seat of our pants. I got that already wrong. People are joining up by the dozens.
Well, but here's the other thing. We got to talk about, because you've hyped this up on how you can actually win today, right?
Okay, they're going to get prizes for winning. And
So
they have to go to the event guide to get those answers, which they can still access.
They can still access. But what we need them to do is go to SolarDay24 at burtonacademy.org. But before you do that, you have to take a screenshot. Remember now when we
So if they're a winner, the top 3, how do they get that prize? How do they show us that they were one of the top 3?
It'll show up as the top 3 on their screen.
Mm-hmm.
What they have to do then is take a screenshot of that and email it in once again to SolarDay24 at burtonacademy.org.
SolarDay24,
That's what they have to do.
burtonacademy.org. So everybody who's playing, all of you out there, Bronze, I'm missing some of these names, Clever Mouse, Glad Bunny, we've got 82 who have already joined us, and they are still coming in. But always remember, all of you who are signing up, SolarDay24 at burtonacademy.org. Take your screenshot, win your prize. Don't join up for nothing, Daring Panda and Genius Owl. I love all.
These are great names.
How are they coming up with these names? It's
I
amazing.
think these are automated generation names.
Automated generation.
They don't get a choice.
It's not
just
them,
random.
okay,
It just
there
happens.
you go.
Once again, it's technology.
Technology,
Technology.
beyond my scope of understanding, as is the astronomy outside. So we want to make sure everybody understands that what you're going to see on your screen in the Kahoot game is going to be delayed. What you're going to see on the live screen, is going to be delayed behind what they're seeing on the Kahoot screen, because obviously we don't want to give away the answers.
So there's latency.
Make it fair to everybody.
So follow your device. There's latency of about 10 seconds.
10 seconds, okay.
10 seconds, so everybody knows that. But
so follow the devices of the Kahoot game, not what you're watching on the live stream.
Not what you're watching, exactly.
Right,
So that's a very
I hope
important
Friendly
point.
Owl and Swift Puffin are all understanding that, and Dynamic Sable, that might be the best one yet. I don't know who that is.
I can tell you're really having a great time reading these
I love the
generated
names. We don't even have to play the game. We're just going to read the names.
We'll just keep reading the names for the next hour or so
That's
until
an
totality.
hour
Let's just
of
read
name
through the
reading,
names.
and then we'll go out and watch the eclipse. All right. Well, Captain Pony's now in, Your Majesty. Are we ready to get started, or we got a few more seconds for people to join up? All right.
Okay,
We're going to get
30
started
seconds.
in 30 seconds. And I hope everybody studied their event guide. I know I've learned a lot of things. Penumbra.
I was just going to toss that out there. I'm hoping that you were listening to Mr. Cadet.
Let's
You're
repeat
giving
some
him,
of the things
you're
we've
cheating,
learned.
really, because you're helping some people here.
Penumbra and Umbra surely are going to be on the. I don't remember what the philosophy thing was that we got told, or your what was the word you used over there? With the weather.
I threw a lot of terms out
where
here.
It all came together at the end there, and I can't remember it. I was determined to remember that. I've already messed up.
I'm impressed that you remembered Umbra.
And Penumbra. That's the only thing that got stuck in my head.
That's a big takeaway for today, is that your vocabulary. And the other thing, too, we probably should have written down how Pastor Kevin was spelling out, because I was going to tell you, I think that word needs to be included in 2024's North Texas
spelling bee. We should find him, track him down. That needs to be a spelling bee
so
word.
Study up on that in the fall.
That. All right, well, we hope everybody's been studying their spelling guide, or the event guide, not spelling guide. Now you got me confused.
You're ready to go to the spelling event. You're ready for North Texas spelling event.
Where is the bleep button so we can dump us and then correct it? So we hope everybody's been studying their event guide and is ready for this Kahoot game, which we are about to get started.
All right, we're ready to go. All right, here we go.
All right, here we come. Question 1, I think, is going to come up on our screen. I see the classroom.
There we go. It's the BAA Solar Day live stream. Okay.
Eclipse Challenge, 3, 2, 1, like a rocket taking off. Here we go.
Here we go, the quiz.
What is a solar eclipse?
I mean, this is a softball right here.
That should be an easy question based on what they've learned so far.
Are you going to read the questions here?
I am not. I'm going to let them see that on their devices. Part of the reason being that we've already discussed my age and how my eyes are not quite able to make that out.
Fair enough. We won't put you on the spot.
This is going to be a This is going to be a How to Be a Millionaire style, except you can't phone a friend or ask the audience. You have to know yourself on your device. And we can see that it looks like, is that 64% have answered in the blue?
Yes.
And we'll see if that's right. We're going to have 20
seems to be
seconds.
the trending popular
that
answer.
is the trending answer.
Yes.
And let's see who got it right.
Oh, wow.
Well, we can see that Bold Dingo, because it's not only do you get the right question,
it's the time that
it's
you
how
answer.
long does it take you to get it. So even though they may have all gotten the right answer. All right, question 2. What is the difference between a partial eclipse, that's not what we have today, and a total eclipse?
We talked about that at the beginning of the broadcast.
Yes.
I mean, we're just tossing some softballs out here right now.
If you wanted the prizes and you'd been listening, you would know for sure the answers. All right, we're getting about half done. We got a lot of the answers in. We're going up 84, 85. We got 5 seconds to go. Everybody get your answers in. We can see a graphic of what the total eclipse that we're going to have today is.
Oh, there we go.
71%. I'm guessing that's percent. Is that percentage that we're seeing there, or is that the number of answers?
I think it's the actual count.
All right, that's so. So we definitely have red winning out on this, and let's see where the score is now. Genius Owl has taken the lead.
They jumped up.
Genius Owl come from behind, moving up.
You're on the edge of your seat from this.
Followed by
I can
Honest
tell.
Alpaca.
Next quiz. Here we go.
All right, question 3. When was the last total solar eclipse in the DFW area?
I know that. I have to keep my mouth shut.
We have to be quiet. We have to be quiet and see, but we have definitely said that more than once.
And I can even tell you the weather that happened.
We can tell the weather that happened on that day, we've been told.
I would say the popular question, popular answer is in the trending.
Green is moving. Let's see who's moved to the top now. Honest Alpaca has taken the lead.
Very
and
nice.
Helpful Dingo right behind. Here's question 4 coming up. When will the next solar eclipse visible in the contiguous United States?
Yes.
That's key, guys.
That's key. That's very key.
Pay attention to that. When is the next eclipse?
Not Texas, contiguous
Not in Texas,
US.
not with us, but in the contiguous U.S. So that's not Alaska, not Hawaii.
The geography knowledge is just so impressive.
Contiguous U.S. When is the next one going to happen? 2, 1. We got 100+ answers in, and blue seems to be the winner there.
That's correct.
And that is the correct answer. Good job.
Let's see.
Most everybody, and Helpful Dingo.
You've been cheering for Helpful Dingo.
Honest Alpaca still in second, and we see Genius Owl is also there in third, moving up.
All right, next question.
All right, we're at question 5 out of 10. How long will the total eclipse, the totality part, because we've said that the partial has already happened, be visible from where we are at here in Arlington, Texas?
I'm ready for this one too.
You know this.
Man, I would be batting 1,000 right now,
You would be nailing it. You would be winning the prize. Prize is not allowed to host.
That's right,
Reggie.
That's
I'm sorry.
Right. That's because we don't get paid for any of this.
You're already getting paid more than enough.
And fun.
You're getting paid more than enough
That's
for
right.
doing the job
And fun.
that you're doing.
Oh, look at this. All right, here we go.
This is the first one where we've had a clear second place. Some people thought it was the green answer, and
But
let's
it's
see what was
actually
correct.
blue. It's blue.
Blue was correct.
Blue
All right.
is correct. Very nice.
The
All right,
popular
what's the
opinion has
scoreboard?
won it again. Honest Alpaca.
The people you're calling out, they are on top of it.
Back to the top.
Back to the top.
It's the first appearance, I think, for Noble Rooster and Power Hair coming in.
I haven't seen Power Hair before. Okay, next question.
So we've got some new players. Question 6. What is the main purpose of the solar viewing glasses? Right here, mentioned in the update. I have mine in my hand. What is the main purpose of these solar viewing glasses? And I don't see to look cool as one of the answers, because that might have been what I said.
Well, that would be fake news.
And
we're not about fake news.
That would have been fake news. If you want to look cool, put these on. That's not one of the options. Let's see. Red has taken it to protect your eyes.
Very nice.
When viewing the sun. Is that
there
correct?
There we go. That's correct.
That is correct.
Very nicely done. Let's see.
All right, let's see. He's taking the lead now. Genius Owl back up.
Genius Owl.
Genius Owl. Genius Owl.
Okay.
Is back on top, but Power Hair very close behind.
Next question.
Here we go. 7. We got 4 more to go, guys. The name of the darkest part of a shadow cast by the moon.
This is the first tough question.
During a solar eclipse, the name of the darkest part. And I'll tell you what, I've said both of those words.
You have.
Very soon. Now, which one is it? That's the question. Everybody needs to know. The name of the darkest part of the shadow cast by the moon. We've got 100 answers
we
in.
need Mr. Cadet
going
here.
past.
Where's
Mr. Cadet when we need
him? He
him?
can help out. He could be the lifeline.
Let's see. We've got the most popular answer being Umbra in red. Did they get that one?
Yes. I believe that's
And
correct. Yes.
We say yes
His
to that.
Majesty wasn't even sure.
Genius
but there we go.
Owl.
Genius Owl. Not Genesis Owl, but Genius Owl.
Look at a new player there, Jolly Koala. If he's been on there before, or he, she, we don't know.
We don't know.
Has been seeing. We have not seen
We're
Jolly
neutral.
Koala quite yet.
Yep.
Soaring
Amazing
Cat.
Unicorn.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of new players in the top 5 now, and I think we're getting ready for question 8.
All right, next question. Here we go.
All right. What is the name of the telescope that has provided some of the most detailed images of galaxies over the last 30 years? What is the name of that telescope? That would be in your event guide, ladies and gentlemen. We talked to Mr. Jim Burr earlier. I don't think he mentioned this telescope, even though he's a telescope maker.
Yeah.
But this answer is in your event guide. Now, let's see.
I think this actually was done when you were in high school.
Oh, it probably was. All right. So 77 people said read the Hubble Space Telescope.
And that would be correct.
And that is the correct answer. Very good. We've got the majority is definitely winning here. I'm glad to see people have studied their event guide. Let's see. Genius Owl staying on top.
Wow. Impressive.
Look at that. But Inspired Yeti, a new player there at number 5 in the game.
All right, next question.
We're down to it now here. 9 of 10.
9
What
of
is
10.
the name of the galaxy closest to our own Milky Way?
I think this might be the first one that stumped me here.
So not a galaxy far, far away,
Good
but
Star Wars
the
reference.
one closest to ours. And since we're the Milky Way, I kind of am leaning towards green.
I knew your broadcast
You knew that would attract
antenna
me, wouldn't it?
attract
That
you
would
to
attract
That
me.
is a great broadcast joke
We are the
for you.
Milky Way, so I love that green is on there. And red, however, is correct. The Andromeda Galaxy. The Andromeda Galaxy is correct. Let's see. Genius Owl maintaining it. Oh, we want to know who
Impressive.
Genius Owl is. Who is behind the mask of Genius Owl? Truly a genius.
All right, here we go. Last
so far,
one.
can he hold it? In astronomy, what is, I can pronounce this, syzygy.
Yes.
Another new word that I have learned.
And you even
What
spoke about it.
Is syzygy, everybody.
Yes.
The time is half gone. We got 10 seconds to go. Get your answers in.
We're
In
fast
astronomy,
approaching 100. Yep.
what is syzygy?
Syzygy.
Another spelling word that probably should appear again here in about
I
6
think
months.
so. Write it down for the fall.
We stumped some people. Look at that. Blue took the lead. Let's see if that's correct. But we had the most diaspora of, and that is the correct answer, blue. So let's see.
All
Who
right.
is in third place? Jolly Koala.
Take that picture and
Take
email it
your
in.
picture.
Here's
Number
another
2,
one. Number 2, Soaring Cat. Take that picture.
Number 1.
Number 1. Hold tight.
Let's
What
see
is
if we got it.
Who's it going to be?
Who's number 1?
Oh,
Genius.
Genius Owl.
Owl.
The person you've been pulling for all
Winning.
along.
I have.
And the confetti falls, just like the Super Bowl. We're
Winners.
speechless.
All right. They are going to win some
Congratulations.
amazing prizes.
Send those pictures into SolarDay24 at burtonacademy.org. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Good job, everybody. Good job.
I'm going to say, I think we unleashed the fun there.
We did. That is the definition of unleashing the fun. You nailed that.
All right.
All right. It is now our pleasure to welcome in this, Reggie, is going to be my favorite, the best interview of the day coming up right here. This is the best one. None has been as good as what we're about to experience right here. We have Dr. Keisha Norris joining us on the set. Dr. Norris, thank you for being with us. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I am doing well. Earlier, we spoke to Mrs. Ellen Thomas.
Yes.
She is the principal here at Burton Academy. You know Mrs. Thomas. So help somebody like me understand. I've always been under the impression that the principal is the highest that it can get. I mean, when you got sent, not that it ever happened to me, sent to the principal's office.
Never.
That seemed to be the end of the line. But I understand you are a superintendent.
Yes.
That sounds very important. You're the superintendent of education for the Texas Conference. Tell us what that means. What's your job?
Yeah, I don't know if it's super important, but I do have a great responsibility, and where I supervise 22 schools across Texas. So right here in the DFW area, we have 11 of those 22 schools. And that's a little over 250 employees, and we've got 2,400 students. So it's a large operation that handles.
Wow.
But
And
it's just
so
a
many of them getting to
supervision.
enjoy the eclipse today, and we're
So
excited that you've
about
chosen
that.
to join us.
Yes, I'm happy to be here and get the invitation from Burton. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, well, we're glad that you made the trip up here once again from Alvarado.
Yes.
So thank you for making the trip up here. Now, some of those 2,400 or 24,000?
2,400.
Okay, let me
It
not
would
add
be
to your
awesome.
job. Yeah, right. I'd make that job
But
much more
that's
complicated.
scary.
Count the
Yes.
zeros. Count the
Yeah,
zeros.
let's get the zeros right.
We'll move that zero into her paycheck.
There we go.
Yeah,
She'll
there
take
you go.
that.
I'll take it.
All right, so 2,400. You've seen some of these 2,400 students as you've wandered the grounds here today.
Yes.
What do you think so far from what you're seeing today?
Listen, from the time that I drove in, the students, whether they're helping parking, whether they're out running around, having fun, playing games, that's kind of what, to me, education is about. My major is biology, so the science of things is actually what I love. And the kids just delving in, having a good time, this is to me education. This is something that I love seeing. The kids seem very happy. So that's what makes me excited about what today means for Burton Academy.
Great, great. Well, now talking about some of your other schools, obviously you're here today, and once again, we can't thank you enough for having your presence here.
My pleasure.
But what else are you aware of that's happening around the conference today in the state of Texas?
Yeah, so there are a number of schools that are doing something pretty big on their campuses, where our schools in Dallas and North Dallas, I've heard about their programs. They've sent me everything that's going to go on, from parents and siblings being present, different events at their school. One of my schools, only one out of the 22, is actually closed today because the actual entire city basically is closing.
Wow.
So that's Killeen. They are closed today, the only school that's closed, but everyone else has chosen to do some different kind of activities where the kids get involved, where they're able to safely watch the eclipse.
There you go.
Yes, wear your glasses.
Yes,
wear your glasses.
Please, because I don't want to hear from that part.
Yeah.
And then, we had even conversations, should schools close or not, with the influx of people that are coming to Texas to see this. But I think we feel the best place for them to be is at their schools, learning together. So I think that's where the students thrive, in this kind of environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And one little nugget that I'm going to throw out here, because you mentioned all the people coming into town. Just in Dallas alone, they're expecting 500,000 people to be out-of-towners coming in. So that speaks to what you're saying.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in Texas today, but thank you for letting this happen here. I think this is great fun. So, unfortunately, this is going to be the last question to your best interview of the day, unfortunately. But let's just ask you this. With how this event is going, what do you think this event and how it's been organized is going to impact students here today?
Well, this year alone, this school year alone, this is my second, kind of big event here at Burton to attend. And what I can say is I'm so proud of the teachers, the staff, the students even, because inviting people on your campus, preparation for this, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, a lot of volunteers. The staff here is so dedicated to what goes on at Burton Academy, and I see that in the volunteers that come in. Both of you yourself being here, and then they just want to make sure that Burton is seen in a light that says we value our community, we value our students, and so it makes me very proud to be a part of that in any way that I can. So that's why I'm here.
And that's awesome. And I'm going to say one quick plug for the teachers here. I mean, let's not lose the fact that this was Alumni Weekend.
A lot
just
going
this
on.
weekend.
Exactly.
A lot going on. I mean, this is the epicenter of activity here the last 48 hours.
That's right.
And I just had to put that plug in for the teachers.
Yes.
And I know you're well aware, and you speak to the fact they're very dedicated staff, hard workers, but we once again want to make sure that people are aware.
Yeah.
Yes,
a lot of work
has gone in.
into this.
And Dr. Norris mentioned the two of us as being volunteers, and while that's much appreciated, we pale in comparison to the real work that is going on behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like you say, I'm getting to watch the work being done, and just honored to be part of that. So
we thank you. Everyone that plugs into our schools, that values what happens here in the education, that means so much to us, because we know we love it and we plug it and we want everyone to be a part of it. But anyone that says, I want to join you in that, it just changes what happens. It changes the outlook. It changes our community, and that's the beauty of what goes on.
Sure, that collective energy is very powerful. Well, thank you, Dr. Norris.
Yeah,
thank
my
you for joining
pleasure.
us here. And we are drawing close to the event itself. Look, there on our
that's
screen,
exciting.
Reggie.
Wow.
Look, we've
That is impressive.
What are we going to call that? 50% coverage?
I would about go to that
We're
point.
about
I think
halfway
we're
there.
halfway there.
That is a very impressive
It's
shot.
almost 110. So we got about 30 more minutes to go.
And it looks like the cloud cover is holding off.
Yep. Forecast is coming together nicely.
And I believe we're going back outside now. And we're not going back outside, I'm being told. Okay, so we're going to go to a pre-recorded interview of Dr. Timothy Standish of the Geoscience Research Center. Is that correct? Now, we are going to go outside.
You were right the first time.
Well, a broken clock twice a day, so I got this one. That's once. All right, so we are going to go outside.
There we
Mr.
go.
Colvin is out there.
There we go.
Now,
Sorry
I've
for
got
the
to take it
confusion,
back.
fellas.
This looks like it's going to be the best interview of the day. Mr. Colvin, who have you got?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I have some awesome Burton Adventist Academy students here beside me. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and they'll also tell you what grade they're in.
No, it's okay.
Hello, my name's Eli, and I'm in 3rd grade. Hello, my name is Aaron, and I'm in 3rd grade.
Excellent. So we got some awesome 3rd graders here. Now, gentlemen, can you tell me the emotions that you're feeling right now as we begin this total solar eclipse?
I'm really excited. I'm really, 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 really excited.
Are you? It sounds like you're excited.
I'm excited too, but the one thing that I'm afraid of, I might get blind by just looking at the sun.
Oh, yes, but that's why I saw you set them down. You have these awesome glasses that you'll be wearing. Now, actually, can you wear them real quick? Can you put them on and look up? Tell me what you're seeing right now.
I'm seeing like a type of moon looking, and it looks bright, like a sun, but it's a moon type.
Excellent. Okay, and so I also want to ask you guys, whenever we're... All right, and so I just want to ask you guys, whenever you think about God and his creation and everything, how does this tie in? What feelings do you feel there as we witness the solar eclipse? When talking about God and his creativity.
I just think how smart he is and how loving he is that he made this and that he wanted all of us to see it.
Excellent answer. How about you?
I feel like, how do you create a sun that then a moon can come over?
It kind of seems like God is the only one capable of doing that, and that's so awesome.
All right,
Man, I have some awesome third graders here, and we want to thank you once more for joining us, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you for participating.
Wait, before you let them go, I have one more question. I have one more question for our third graders. I'm not going to ask what grade they're in. I caught it this time. I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Yes.
But I want to know, what is the best food they've had so far today?
Oh, also, what is the best food you've had today? I know it might be tough, but you got to give me an answer. You got to give me an answer.
Pepino, because that's all I had.
What was that?
Pepino.
Excellent.
Pepino.
Corn dog.
Corn dogs.
Corn dog.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, we have great food out here.
Winning.
Thank you, third grade. You guys are amazing. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Colvin. All right, we are now going to go to the pre-recorded interview of Dr. Timothy Standish of the Geoscience Research Center. And then, after that, he is going to join us live.
Kind of celebrating and excited to experience totality with the solar eclipse here on April 8. And with that, I'm just curious from your perspective, is there something in the astrophysics world, whether it relates to total eclipses or not,
there you guys, I can hear some of you and not
reaffirms
others.
Your faith in God as creator, in the literal creation that we do believe in, and the Genesis story. So is there something in the astrophysics world that specifically reaffirms your faith?
Here's how I'd put it. I wouldn't say something. It's not one thing. To me, it is the totality of systems that is very impressive. Okay? So it just so happens that we live on a planet that is just the right size. It's made out of just the right stuff. It is orbiting just the right distance from just the right kind of star. It has a moon that is just the right size to do things like help to move tides around. And those tides not only circulate nutrients and other things for living things, they also distribute heat across the surface of the Earth. The planet happens to spin on an axis that is just the right angle to maximize the amount of life that can exist on the surface of the Earth. We're in just the right part of our particular galaxy so that we can survive. We have just the right kind of atmosphere so that we're protected from the harmful emissions that are coming out of the sun. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Elements, the carbon is a miracle. Okay, it's a very special element, and you are not going to make living things, at least living things that are anything like what we have, if you don't have carbon with its very special properties, and water, which is magic. Okay. I mean, it's not magic. That's the whole point. It was designed, the whole system from the atoms up, and you could argue the subatomic particles as well, up is it all comes together to allow life to thrive in this one spot in the universe.
All right, we want to thank Dr. Timothy Standish there for joining us for that previous interview, and he is joining us live. Dr. Standish, do we have you? Have we made that connection? Okay, so I think Dr. Standish, and when he comes on, I'll let him answer this, Reggie, but I believe he is located generally in Australia.
Correct.
But today joining us from California. That's your understanding as well?
That is my understanding as well.
We will let him confirm when he gets that. Dr. Standish, have we made that connection? Dr. Standish, can he hear us?
I can barely hear you. What I'm getting is
go.
really nice audio from your control booth.
Okay, all right.
But not from you guys, so I can see.
I can see you now, and I can hear you now. Are you able to hear us?
All right, then.
All right.
I can just hear you.
Okay, well, if I speak up, maybe that'll work a little better. We'll try that. Tell us your location today, and we want to thank you for joining us, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite. I get that.
So tell me where you're located today. Where are you joining us from today?
Okay, yes, I'm located in Southern California, just east of Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I just ran in from outside because we can see a partial.
You're getting a partial eclipse.
View of the eclipse.
Yeah.
And then it's spectacular. Yeah.
Normally
we're enjoying it here.
Normally you're based in Australia, correct? Is that right? I think he's having trouble hearing me. Is he having trouble hearing me? Okay. Is he going to be able to hear Reggie any better?
All right, so I guess we'll transition. Dr. Standish, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, what I'm getting is something very echoey and muffled.
Okay, so we're not making the connection.
But like I said, whoever's in the control room is clear as a bell.
You can hear them. All right.
So yes, sure. So if you want to just relay those,
then we will let His Majesty ask the
Aaron will
questions.
answer the
question.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you from Loma Linda in California, which is east of Los Angeles, and right now we're reaching approximately the peak here. It's about 45%. So we don't get totality here, but we can see the moon moving in front of part of the sun. In fact, you had an image up earlier that looked about like what we're seeing right at the moment, just a little bit earlier.
Okay, great. Well, so I'm going to relay the question here to Aaron to see if that helps with your being able to hear what we're saying. Okay, so here's the question here. We've talked a little bit about Geoscience Research Institute. Yes, and so we want to hear how long you've been involved with that organization.
I've been working here for 23 years now.
And what has your role been there that whole time?
And so it must be a good. My title is senior scientist. So I sort of worked my way up through various ranks and things. I'm basically the resident biologist. So I'm not a geologist, even though most of my colleagues are in different areas of geology. We have a physicist who does physical geology. We have a stratigrapher who studies those layers of rock and how they form, and a paleontologist, obviously, and so on.
Great. Okay. So let me ask you this. We'll focus here on the eclipse. So what is so special from your perspective today about the eclipse you're witnessing, but also what we're seeing here?
Well, every eclipse is special from
I think the question is,
Are you not getting my audio?
No, we can hear you. The question is, what is special for us in the Dallas area?
Okay.
Why is this one so special for us
What
here?
I would say is special about this eclipse, just like any other, is probably the location of it. It happens that the area of totality is covering such a high density populated area. So many people can observe this truly amazing thing about the relationship between the Earth, Moon, and the Sun. And I'm sure you've already talked a little bit about how the size of the Moon is such that when it moves in front of the Sun, even though the Sun is vastly larger, when it's viewed from the Earth, we can see just the outside part of the Sun, called the corona. And one of the things that does for us as scientists, as human beings, is it allows us to study our Sun in a very special way. We can understand a huge amount about our Sun because of this blocking out of the majority of the Sun, and just looking at that corona around the outside, we can understand a huge amount of information about what is going on inside
Dr. Standish,
our Sun. And of course, that gives us a wonderful opportunity to then extrapolate that information to other stars that are out there in the universe. So we on the Earth are in a very unique situation, as far as we can tell, in that we have the ability to study our Sun in a way that other planets don't have, because they don't have a moon that is as precisely sized as ours happens to be, relative to the star that we orbit.
I think we're going to have one more question because we're running our time.
Yes. Okay, so I'll
All
relay
right.
this to you, Aaron. So just so much here to understand. What would you recommend for the kids that are watching today to dig deeper, the resources we need to look at?
Oh, I would recommend a book called The Privileged Planet. It's fantastic. There's also a video by that name. And you can also go to a website that has a huge amount of information about the universe, among other things. It's called the John 1010 Project.com. So if you just Google the John 1010 Project, or put in the John 1010 Project with no colon between the tens, by the way, .com as a URL, you'll find a bunch of fabulous videos there about the marvelous way in which the universe has been constructed for life, and for us to discover what's going on out there in the universe that we inhabit.
All right. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. All right, terrific. I'm going to run back outside and have a look at what's happening
you
here
go enjoy
right now.
what you've got out there.
Take care. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Well, there he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Timothy Standish from California. So, Reggie, he's headed back outside to enjoy his partial eclipse.
Yes. Can you notice, like, it's gotten eerily quiet in this gym?
And we have, you can see behind us that all the activity that's been going on for the last hour and a half or more since we started broadcasting is now gone. We have been left alone in here, and we ourselves are going to be headed outside fairly soon. We're going to do a few more things inside here before we head out, but the students have been invited to go outside because the event is upon us very close. It draweth nigh to why we are here today. You can see there that it is mostly covered up. What are we going at? 75, 80, 85%?
Yeah, I would easily say we're at 75% right now. I mean, we are on the home stretch.
We are in the home stretch, and we should be into totality here within 15 to
Yeah, you're looking
less
at
than
about
20 minutes.
15 minutes,
yeah.
less than 20 minutes. I mean, we are on the doorstep.
We're
on
right
the precipice,
there.
as you would like to say.
Precipice of what is happening. But I think some of those who have been joining us live stream we have some questions and some shout outs that we're going to join. We want to thank all those who have interacted with us. It's been very nice of them to participate. And we want to share some of that stellar content now. Stellar, by the way, it's stellar, superb stellar content.
I mean, you're on fire. You're in the zone right now, in the broadcast zone. Yes.
In the zone.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to show the winner of this is
nice.
Genius Owl.
That we were rooting on.
Genius
Owl pulls
winning.
it out. I mean, it was a come from behind win.
I am impressed. Tyler Adventist School has produced an 8th grader, Mr. Charles Struther. I believe I'm pronounced Struther. I hope I'm getting that right, Charles. Thank you for playing. Congratulations to you. Your fabulous prizes are going to be sent in the mail. All right, what are we looking at here? A dog.
I've gotten her. The dog is protecting
Madeline's dog.
Yes, the retina is protecting, and Burton glasses.
Burton glasses on Madeline's dog. I don't know the dog's name, but definitely the cutest sun viewer that we've seen so far. Washington State joining us. All right. Oh, Mrs.
Laura
Smith. Oh, sure,
good
sure.
to hear from you.
Well,
Awesome.
hello, Mrs. Smith. Thank you for joining us from Washington State. Glad you're
on the
joining
other
us.
side of the continent. Thank you for that.
That's great. Another alum, Tristan. If he thinks it's awesome, we agree, Tristan. We think you're awesome. Thank you.
Stonehill Academy.
Stonehill.
We called them out earlier.
We did.
You're watching. That is awesome.
Thank them for joining us as ready. They are ready. How long after us? Are they going to be half hour, an hour? But from when it comes to us to comes to them?
They're before
Oh,
us.
they're before us. Sorry. I've got them confused.
It's okay.
They're already seeing it.
They're seeing it.
They're seeing it. There we go. There we go.
And
All right.
so it sounds like the clouds are parting. So they're getting the
Stonehill.
same thing that we are. Okay. Another.
Alex is joining us. Yeah.
How do you want to handle that comment
love
there?
it. I love it. She is so correct. Alex has got this nailed. He is not lying. Reggie, the frustrated but now conquering meteorologist.
Yes, it was a once in a moment lifetime.
You have fulfilled your dream and your purpose.
To bring you the weather, Adrian.
It is a
all came
once in a
together
lifetime
today.
event for the eclipse and for your meteorological dreams.
There we go. Another shout out
yeah.
here. All right.
For Mr. Colvin there, great job. Brad says James,
Yes.
a BAA parent.
And we would completely agree. Brad has done a great job out there.
Brad is killing it outside. We're looking forward to joining him here in just a few minutes. Thank you. And then watching from the Bahamas. Oh, well,
Very
other
nice.
than seeing the eclipse, I would like to trade places with them. So phenomenal coverage. Thank you, LaToya, for joining us there. All right. Well, I think we are coming close to wrap up from inside. And we're moving outside in 10 minutes? Okay. All right.
All right. Well, I think you're going to have to, as they say in broadcast, extend your time.
Extended. We want to.
You're just ready to get outside. You're ready to get
our
outside.
Remarks. Well, let's go back to the view of showing us what's outside and the camera, because look at that. Look at that. The sun is almost gone.
I mean, I'm still in shock. I've not really seen this to this level before.
No.
I mean,
I have seen other eclipses, but it doesn't look like that.
I mean, I'm
That's
actually looking
incredible.
out you can't do this, but I'm actually looking out the window, and I'm telling you, and this is
How's our
this
coverage
is
look? How's our-
sideline reporting.
how's our
I'm
weather
bringing it
coverage
to you
looking?
right now.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell that something is happening outside. The look is different. The lighting is different. Things are changing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't wait to get up off this couch and go next to you to go give more live coverage of what's happening outside. But something's happening. You're seeing it on the screen. Once again, thank you to the technology here at Burton.
Yeah,
that we're able to actually point a camera here at the sun and see this happen in live action.
The Burton Livestream team, Blast, has done a great job bringing this to us. I want to say this, Reggie, and give me your reaction to this. We've had several guests on today, Pastor Kevin, Dr. Norris, Mrs. Thomas, and Pastor DeMorris, and many of them touched on this. This event so clearly tells us the intelligent design. How I am so struck by how this could possibly happen any other way than on purpose. An amazing thing. The moon is an enormous, an unfathomably enormous giant ball in the sky, yet pales in comparison to the size of the Earth, which again pales in even more comparison to the size of the sun. The size of these objects, the distances between them, hundreds of thousands, and just incomprehensible amounts of mileage that we just have no concept of. And for them to be aligning in this way, I mean, I suppose you could believe it's chance, but does that not, to believe that is in chance, does that not require as much or more faith?
I think it's more faith.
Then, yeah.
And we've already heard from our guests today. I mean, they've spoken to the fact that There's no chance here. This is science.
Yes.
We always talk about this. This is creation science. This is lining up with science. The fact is, the Bible is real, and it points and it speaks to God's glory, and it speaks to science. It all comes together. It can work together. And this goes back to what Dr. Standish just said earlier. The fact that so many things are in the right place for us to enjoy what's going to happen at 1:40 p.m. here Central Daylight Time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's amazing.
And while I was struck with all of that, also the fact that it's happening here on Earth, and the unique thing about that is that we are the intelligent beings that the intelligent designer has made. We're able to understand what it is we're seeing. It's not just random. While the animals might go into nighttime mode and they don't understand what they're seeing, we do.
We do.
God's creation. So we're going to go out to Bradley now, Mr. Colvin, and Mr. Colvin is going to describe to us what he's feeling. We're going to join him here in a few minutes, but let's see what's happening out there right now. What are we feeling? What are we seeing? What is the audience out there experiencing?
You guys, I have goosebumps right now.
Wow.
The temperature has dropped
Has it
significantly.
really?
It's gotten a lot cooler. When I put the glasses on, we are minutes away from a total solar eclipse. There seems to be if you just look out into the field, there seems to be like this weird tint, just this weird shade that's been put on. I was talking with Travis Simpson, and it's just like this weird hazy kind of filter that I'm looking at. It's difficult to describe because this is I've never experienced this before.
That's fascinating. And what I'm very excited to see is behind you, I see a lot of blue. We saw on Reggie's forecast earlier the blue and the white, but the blue I'm seeing in back behind you,
that's blue sky.
Very encouraging.
That is blue sky, and so we're just grateful for the weather kind of clearing up at this time. Reggie, you've been right all the way. You've stayed positive, and you kept our spirits high. And so we are going to be able to view this total eclipse. It's going to be amazing. Again, we're minutes away, and so hopefully, you guys will be out here soon and kind of experience this too. It's just like chilling. I have goosebumps.
You're not usually speechless like this either. So I mean, this is an event within itself, and it must be a very special experience.
Absolutely.
And I think what also is just amazing, we mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast, Bradley. We mentioned at the beginning that this is exactly what happened on July 29th, 1878.
Oh, wow.
History has repeated itself. It looked bleak all morning long. The clouds cleared out. Everybody was able to witness, and we're about to witness it as well.
Thank you,
that
Lord.
is just amazing.
Yeah,
History
I'm not the
itself.
first to mention it today, but just being able to witness God's craftsmanship and it's beautiful. You guys got to get out of here.
I am going to tell you something. Patience is a virtue, Reggie.
Yes, it is.
But it is not one that I am in possession of in great amounts, and I am very anxious. We are on the verge of heading outside. We want to ask our viewers, continue to stay tuned, but make sure you get outside.
Absolutely.
You have to go outside. Do not watch this through our camera. You get outside and you
Put the
experience
glasses
it.
on.
You're certainly welcome to listen. We're going to go outside and experience this. Make sure you wear your glasses.
Now at 1:40 though, you can take those glasses off for 3 minutes and 23 seconds, and then you got to put them back on. But we are getting very close.
And then rejoin us here. You're going to see our reactions. You're going to get reactions from outside. Again, another chance for our students to get on and tell us what they experienced, see if it matches with what you experienced at home. Those of you who are not in the path of totality like we are, you can experience through us vicariously what we're learning and seeing and feeling and touching here. So we want to invite you to come back right here to Blast so that you can see the reaction videos. And those of you who are going to experience this in the future, in a few minutes or a few hours on towards Indianapolis and Canada and stuff, stay tuned with us. You can see what we're experiencing and seeing, and then see if it matches with what you're about to go. But I think we're headed outside here very shortly.
Well, and one thing I'll say, I think it's great, Adrian, that you're going to be handling this here. And you're a man of many words, and I know you're going to do a great job as we do the play-by-play here. And it's going to be good fun. But we're going to be respectful, because this is a moment, and for a lot of people, this is a very spiritual moment, too. I mean, this is speaking to just the majesty of what we're about to witness and the wonderful. We're going to stand back and watch our Lord's handiwork. It's going to be great.
Let's see what he does. And I am...
So, yeah, I was going to say, join us for reactions, and we're heading outside. So we'll keep it going here in just a moment.
Your audio is live if you want. This is incredible. I am going to repeat.
I am joined outside here by Adrian and Reggie. They have stepped outside for the first time. Gentlemen, can you just give me a couple words of what you're feeling right now?
Yes, this looks so different than when I was out here earlier. Look, I've got the glasses on, everybody, so make sure if you're looking at that sun, you get those on. But that is amazing to see the moon moving in front. I liked the way I don't remember which one of our third graders said before, it's a moon-looking thing, because I'm used to seeing the moon look like that, but not the sun. That's amazing. It does look very, very unusual here on the ground.
All right, I'm leaning over the fence here to talking to the mic as I'm reporting here live. I've never done live reporting. This is a dream come true here, Bradley. Thank you for letting it happen. I'm looking up at the sky right now. We are 5 minutes away from totality, and we're getting ready to see the corona of the sun. I have goosebumps just like you, Bradley, and I can actually sense that it is not as hot as it was earlier in the day. It's absolutely amazing, the temperature change. And what's even more amazing about this is the humidity. It's humid outside, and we can actually notice it because depending if you have humid air or dry air can impact the amount of temperature drop that we get to experience. All right, I'll stop there, Bradley. I'll hand it back to you.
Before you do, take off your glasses and just look out onto the field and kind of describe what you're seeing there. Isn't it almost like this weird tint or like fog? I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I would actually say it's almost like I took the glasses off, but I feel like I'm looking through sunglasses right now. It's a very different feel, different look than I've ever seen Perryman Field look like before. And I'm also just amazed. You're looking up into the blue sky. I'm looking up at altocumulus clouds, cirrus clouds, and it's just a different tint. This is amazing.
Yeah, and so we are minutes away from this total eclipse. You might hear us chime in here and there just to kind of give updates on what we're feeling. But I got to tell you, everybody's kind of quieted down for the most part, and they're all just anticipating this full total eclipse, this solar eclipse, and so it's just really exciting.
Okay, back to the original shot. Okay. Here. Go ahead and Reggie, come on around. Okay. Oh gosh, I was gonna look up right there.
And
all right, let's push Adrian. Touches to your right. Bradley, it touches to your right. Be on Bradley's left. Almost.
I want to let everybody know what I'm feeling on my skin while there's still light from the sun, like I'm used to in the day. I don't feel any heat on my skin. That's a very strange sensation where it's not dark outside, but there is no heat. If I roll up the sleeve of the jacket there, that's incredible. Yeah, this would be a nice temperature all the time.
Oh, and it's literally,
there we go.
Oh man, it has gotten significantly darker just in these past couple seconds. I need to put on my glasses real quick.
Now, if this cloud would just, cumulus cloud, we have a little cumulus cloud that needs to move. It needs to move. And I know it's going to happen. We're going to be able to see this, but this is really exciting.
That's amazing. Listen to the reaction of the kids. That is joyful to hear them reacting to what they're seeing.
All right, yeah. Wow, this is just amazing. And it keeps getting darker and darker and darker. I mean, we are minutes, well, not even that. I mean, I think we're maybe 120 seconds away from totality here. This is amazing.
If you look up at it again wearing the glasses, it's just almost disappeared.
It's getting ready to happen. No, we're going to be silent very soon.
Wow, look at this. Look at this. And what a joy to see all these people enjoying it. That is
it just keeps getting darker and darker. This is amazing. Yeah, exactly. Nothing is happening on camera. This is all
filter on that.
No filter on the camera. It is literally getting dark here. And I mean, just the sun is about to disappear, and it is amazing how quick this is happening. I mean, literally, you can just watch it. It's almost like a countdown.
And can you imagine how many gazillion thousand miles an hour that moon is moving? But from our perspective,
wow. Wow. Oh, people are getting excited. I mean, it is getting dark now. This is amazing.
Almost gone.
Wow.
Mr. Cadet.
Wow, there's the ring of fire right there. I'm looking at the ring of fire.
There it is.
There it's going right now. I actually see stars. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can see stars.
There we go.
like
It's
the
happening.
nighttime.
Oh, it's happening. There's the corona. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Wow. Wow.
Oh, I love the excitement that I'm hearing behind us, and I don't blame them one bit. That is astonishing.
I mean, the clouds don't even matter at this point. We can see it very clearly. It's just, wow. Man, I love seeing the corona. That is just an awesome view of the corona.
Gosh.
Yeah, the stars are there.
The stars are out.
Look, and if you look out to the east, look, it looks like sunrise is about to happen. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely can see the stars.
Incredible.
And actually, some of these are planets.
The stars, the planets that we're seeing, yes.
So, and I mean, this is amazing.
Adrian, that one's a plane.
Is it a plane? No, it's astonishing. I'm running out of adjectives.
That looks
Yeah,
great. That
look
is
at
a
that on
great
the
shot on
screen.
camera, and you can really see the corona there. I mean, but still, there's nothing that beats the naked eye here and watching this eclipse.
I can't get enough of this. I'm blown away.
I mean, look to the north, look to the east. I mean, this looks like it's dawn, basically, is what it looks like out here right now. And yet, it's the middle of the day.
Yeah, in the middle of the day. Yeah, the automatic lights here on the baseball
field. And the lights at the field are coming on right now. I see home lights, floodlights are coming on. It feels like it's about to be nighttime.
That's incredible. Look at that on the bottom, kind of a little bit to the right of center there. You can see a real bright spot. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about astronomy to know if that's one of those sunspots they say that you're gonna see some of the flares.
Yeah, speechless.
The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands.
Oh, he's looking blue on here.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. This is so cool.
Yes. So let me jump in. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your voice and with us sing, Hallelujah, hallelujah, O burning sun with golden beam and silver moon with softer gleam. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
We are witnessing what is almost the sacred hush amongst the heavens where God's mastery is unfolding, just humbly taking in his work.
All right, glasses back on.
Now we begin to put our glasses back on, and you'll see on the camera as things just
It's
begin to
brightening
get
up.
brighter.
Oh my goodness, it's coming back so quick. Look, and now you can actually see us on the screen here. Look at this.
man.
This is amazing.
And just like
the
that.
ring of fire showed up,
Just
and
like
bam, here comes the sun. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, really, at this point, I don't know. There's much more we can say. I mean, we just experienced an amazing event. You heard the crowd. I mean, I just really don't know what else to say. I'm speechless. But both of you are men of many words. I know you can help us
just
out here.
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right here in our backyard. I mean, how fortunate were we just to be able to do this on our campus and have everybody here. Just incredible. And obviously, it's been a joy to be able to do this with you two. Just
Absolutely.
extremely knowledgeable. You know, I got my spelling bee buddy back. And this is just, I appreciate you guys for taking the time in as parents and as people that just support Burton. So thank you. Adrian, how you feeling?
I wouldn't have missed it for the world. And while I may be a man of many words usually, I really have nothing to add. I just hope that everybody who's watching us was outside seeing that happen, because there's no way to adequately describe that. As we've been told by people who'd experienced it before, which I hadn't, and it was hard to understand. It's like, hey, there's no way to tell somebody else what that was if they haven't done it.
You have to be through it. I'm so glad that on April 8th, 2024, 1:40 p.m., I'm standing here on Pyramid Field with you all to experience that, a once-in-a-lifetime event, an event that just words cannot bring into how magnificent that experience was. And I echo your statement there, Bradley. I mean, that was a great honor to be a part of that with all of you and then with all the many folks here on the Pyramids Field
and we want
today.
to thank those who are joining us and sharing that with us. I think that Reggie and I are going to head back inside.
That's
We're
correct.
Going to give some reaction from in there. And most importantly, Mr. Colvin is going to get some reaction from those. Let's try to capture some of that sound we heard from them and see if they can't put that into words.
All right.
Yes, I'm going to be trying to pull people left and right. Thank you, Reggie and Adrian. We really appreciate it.
All right. I think you can start right here with this front row.
Oh, yes. Would you guys mind explaining your reaction, how you feel to the microphone? I really don't want to. Oh, okay. All right.
What can I say?
Yeah, how do you feel after experiencing that total eclipse?
You know, it was average, I guess.
All right. Thank you, Eric. We appreciate it, bud.
I mean, it was special. I was in my car. I was chilling. And then I saw my headlights turn, and I was like, yeah. It looked like I was going to say that for a while, but if it happens just like this, 20 years, 20 years.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Thank you so much, Eric. Pastor Audie, how are you feeling?
Man, it was such an incredible experience to be able to see that, to feel it. It was just beyond what I can describe.
Yeah, again, that's what we were saying here, just kind of speechless. Like, how else do you describe something you've never seen before, you know?
Yeah. And I don't even think the video did it justice. I mean, you could feel how cool it was. The stars came out. I'm sure everybody mentioned that already, but it was just phenomenal.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pastor Audie. We appreciate all your hard work and everything, too, so thank you. Jimmy, just a quick word. What are your thoughts on this experience?
This is my first time seeing a proper eclipse. I think it's very like something you see for yourself.
Yeah, something that you can't explain to somebody who has not witnessed it before.
Yeah, even on camera, you can't really capture the same moment ever again.
Absolutely.
You gotta see first. You can't just capture by itself.
100%. Thank you so much, Jimmy. We appreciate it. Hey, come on. Tell me your name.
I'm Christian.
Christian, how are you feeling after this total eclipse?
I was just like running around. I was just running around like crazy. It was so exciting that it was so dark, and I was like, my brain was like, it's night, and I was like, it's day.
Yeah, it was crazy, right? Did you feel the temperature change?
I didn't.
Yeah, that.
For me, I just wanted to feel excited.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was an exciting event. Thank you for sharing. It was good to meet you.
Thank you.
Seth, come on over here, young lad. Seth, tell me your thoughts after witnessing this total solar eclipse. How are you feeling right now?
I mean, it was cool, and it was crazy how we could watch it actually moving and stuff. It was
Yeah, how did you feel once you were able to take off the glasses and just in seconds it was almost complete darkness?
It was like a dream, kind of, I guess. It was like never felt it before, so it was really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much, Seth. We appreciate it, man. Isaac, Tyler, come on over here. You two, both of you. All right, just in a few words, if you could explain to me your feelings after witnessing that total eclipse.
It was really cool. It was nice.
it was like a surreal feeling of like how big the universe is comparison to how small we are.
Absolutely. Isaac?
Honestly, I didn't think too much about it coming in, but I'm glad I didn't because like it made the shock even more like better. But it was cool. Like it felt like I was in a dream.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sentiment is what everybody's feeling right now. So thank you guys so much for sharing. Y'all have a great day. Mr. Cadet, I know we've kind of been talking about how you might be the most excited out here today, so I just want to hear your thoughts on what we just witnessed.
Wow, it's hard to put it into words. I am just so glad everybody got a chance to witness this. Me and Mr. Long, we were talking about all the planning and effort that was going to go into this, and of course the forecast was calling for rain and cloudiness, and we talked about it, and we came to the conclusion, God's going to honor the efforts that we put into the preparation for this, and he came through. Like, this was way better than we could have hoped for. I think a lot of our students got to experience just how powerful God is. And to be honest, I'm still speechless for the most part, because again, this was so amazing to know all the things that have to go right for us as people to be able to experience this. Just tells us about just how great God is. And this is not chance. This is what God intended for us to be able to enjoy this and know that he's our creator and that he's always there. So
Awesome.
Awesome.
Mr. Cadet, thank you so much. Also, just being one of the ones to help put this thing together. I think we can say it's safe to say now that this event was a success, and we just want to thank you for all your hard work.
Absolutely, and all the glory to God and to everybody in the background, all the teachers, all the staff, parent volunteers, all the students, and of course the Blast team for all that they did to get this together. So thank you to everyone. This was a total effort, and God honored our effort. So yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Cadet, thank you. Yep. All right, if you guys can hear me inside, I think Mr. Cadet said it best, as far as God's craftsmanship and, and just giving glory to him. And again, I just want to thank everybody inside, behind the scenes, everybody that we've been working with. Man, this has just been an incredible, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So this is Bradley, man on the streets, man of the people, signing off for the final time here on our solar day. Blast team, it has indeed been a blast. Adrian, Reggie, thank you guys so much.
Mr. Colvin, thank you. You've done a great job.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So, Reggie, I'm going to start here. Our script, the showrunner program that we're supposed to be following,
yes,
now says host reaction videos. And I know I'm supposed to have something to say. And I've been trying to think of what to say, and I don't know what to say. And maybe that does say it, but I don't know what to say. I don't know how to tell somebody, and I don't want to oversell it, because that's what it sounded like to me leading up to this.
Right.
People were like, you just can't describe. Go to somebody who's never seen snow and tell them what it is. You can't. You have to experience it for yourself. So anybody who did not get to experience this one, I hope someday gets to.
They do, yes. I mean, so I'm going to add, and I think when we take a step back over the next couple hours now, just take this moment in, which has just been amazing. But I think I love what Mr. Cadet had to say.
Yes.
Which is, it looked really bleak. It
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
With the forecast about a week out, and we knew that always was a chance, but I do point to the hard work, and I think that's the thing too. When you see all that went into this, I mean, obviously the work that we put here on the ground is minimal to what God has done
Sure.
to make this happen. But for all these things to come together, for us to have a moment in time that we're always going to be able to remember and to share with other people, to your point, I'm speechless, but I also just give glory to God like Mr. Cadet did, that this all came together with all the hard work. But at the end of the day, it's about God.
Amen.
And
Amen.
And what we were able to experience and witness, I'm still, to your point, speechless. We don't have the vocabulary. Our mere vocabulary is not enough to really explain what we saw today and what we experienced. But I am impacted for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I, 2.5 hours ago when we started, I said this, God gets the credit. I'm going to do the celebrating. The Joe Namath we called it Thank You, Lord, for the Good Weather. 2.5 hours ago, we were talking about it. 2.5 months ago, when we were in our production meetings, we were talking about it. And for it to clear up that way, even better than the
models.
Improved forecast that you were giving us last night, and even at the beginning of the broadcast today, what I can react to is his amazing kindness and grace for providing us that blessing. And another thing I'm definitely reacting to is Mr. Cadet's final interview there. The amount of work that man has done, as well as His Majesty, Mr. Aaron Long, all jokes aside, the amount of work that those two in particular, plus all of their support staff have done to put you and I in front of this camera so that we can talk about it, where we carry around the papers and we're the ones who get to have the fun of discussing it. But the amount of work, and to hear him be so pleased, to hear that the weather did what he wanted, to hear that God gave him the gift of having this be for his students, that touches me. That touches me. That I definitely can react to. I really enjoyed that last quick interview that Mr. Colvin had with Mr. Cadet, because to see and to hear the love in his voice was very touching.
And I'm going to go one step further. Once again, we don't want to beat this up, but I think let's even add another layer to this. We talked earlier with our guest about how important Christian Adventist education is, and how important, and Pastor Kevin said this, how important these times, these years are. How amazing would that have been for us?
Sure.
In these
very
years,
formative
years, to have witnessed that. I hope this is life-changing for the students that experience this today, to realize how special their Creator is. I mean, it's amazing.
It is amazing, and that is going to about wrap it up for us. I think we're going to have a couple more shout-outs, other people who were joining us, and then we'll come back to sign off. But let's see who else has been joining us. What did they see or experience, or what were they able to maybe experience through us? Let's see who has participated. Do we have a question or a comment? What do we got going on here? Tyler, the winner, Genius Owl, is from there.
Oh, I like their shirts. Look at the shirts.
Tyler, look at those shirts. That is great. Tyler Adventist School, thank you for joining us. And the second place winner is from there as well.
Tyler cleaned up today.
Killing it.
Okay, Tyler, we got to come out and visit this Adventist school.
Tyler.
I mean, you rep really well today with the winners, the T-shirts.
Yes.
I mean,
Tyler Adventist School, bringing the noise. They have got it on lock. Good job, Tyler Adventist School. I love it. Who else?
Right.
Anybody else we got joining us?
All right. It's wrap-up time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I personally want to thank you, and on behalf of all the behind-the-scenes staff, thank you for joining us here on Blast. It has indeed been a blast. It's not just broadcast superlative there. It really has been a lot of fun. I can't believe that 2.5 hours has gone by. When we first started this, 2.5 hours sounded like a long time.
It did.
It feels like it's been more
and you
than...
were worried. This man was worried that we weren't going to have enough time to fill, but we had so much time. We had so much time.
And more. We've had to drop things as the broadcast has gone on.
It's been great.
An incredible event. I'm very fortunate to have been a part of it. Thank you, Reggie, for...
Thank you. I mean, this will be a memory, and that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
We've been here in Texas. Our paths have never really crossed, but now today, we spent so much time together.
Yeah, this is going to tie us together forever.
An eternal bond.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. A lot of fun today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for joining us from live from Burton Adventist Academy here on Blast, and we will see you another time.